Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 163. We're back to normal this week. Jack is back.
I am returned
for the full episode after.
Cue like a CM Punk level pop, you know, when he came back on Rampage.
It's like that
kind of thing.
I can put that in after. Yeah. So
same energy.
So you wanted to talk about your adventures. The reason, if you weren't here, that he wasn't here last week. Just here for your AEW Dynamite review.
Though, in essence,
was that he was down at Fan Expo in Toronto for the better part of 4 days.
Yeah.
So you would basically hop the train down and then come back, and then one of the parental units would pick you up.
It actually worked out. I kind of like the train.
I know. I thought you might. I wonder who could have possibly suggested you might like the train.
It was neater than especially because we didn't take the subway.
Right.
And
you did avoid the subway.
Messy, and then also buses. We didn't want to do that because you have to pay for it, and also you have to switch buses, and they just take long buses.
Union Station's a busy place.
Buses suck. It was okay actually.
Yeah,
it was okay.
It's I'm glad you guys navigated it safely, and you met your uncle downtown, and he treated you all to a very hip Mexican lunch.
That place is sick.
It is sick. Shout out to La Carnitas in Toronto.
Have you had the churros?
I did have the churros there.
Churros are good. Yeah.
Yes, very good. You haven't had the Braces makes it tough, but their street corn is delicious.
Can't do that.
Not yet, but soon in theory.
In theory.
So you wanted to use a bit of banter time to discuss your comings and goings from.
Yeah, I think I got something every day.
Fan Expo. Yeah, you spent a lot of money.
I went in with a sizable chunk of change and came out with the opposite
nothing
of that.
Specific because
we will not specify.
No.
But I did have a heavy work week before Expo, so that paid dividends.
And we sort of garnish some of your wages to save for you, and then let you do what you will with the rest.
Yeah.
Is now you see why we garnish some of it, because this is what you do.
Yeah, but I specifically asked Mom not to do it the one time, and that's like giving me money, except you're not.
Right.
Yeah. But anyway, so I got I think when I went to Comic-Con on March break, I think I got 3 or 4 figures. I think wrestling-wise, I came away with 11 this time.
Yeah.
That might be...
I took pictures of it. I should put it up.
That might be in one span, that might be my biggest haul. Because I think sometimes I think the one time we went to Bounty Hunter Toys, shout out to them in Hamilton, I think I got 8 or something, right? So I think this might be... Obviously, it's across multiple days, but from one spot, that might be my biggest haul, right? If I can try to go chronologically, I will. So the first day we went from... It wasn't open as long the first day. It was I think it was 4 to 9. It was more of an evening kind of thing.
Yeah, it was open
I did make a few pickups actually. So me and my friend talked about making a wish list before we went, but we never did. But if I were to pick one, I would have put that Ultimate 17 Rollins on there with the Neon Lines gear, and I indeed found that right away. So that was really cool. And if anyone knows that one, obviously, but I've talked about it before. It's the one where it's the gear he wore at Money in the Bank 2022, and also he wore that when he won the U.S. title last year. It's one with all the neon lines on it. It's got this crazy fur coat, because some of the cloth goods they've been doing lately are just bananas. The 2 last Rollins I got, they had the faux fur on there.
And he wears some pretty outrageous gear.
That's crazy doing
he's the perfect guy
figures,
to do that for.
But that one's really cool. I'm really happy I got that. And then I got the ringside exclusive, the defining moments, the Torn Pet Cody.
Yeah,
which I thought that was really cool.
I actually think that's really cool too, just because it's a different.
I think
clearly
that's an
version.
Awesome choice to do, because that's the kind of thing. Those and the bloody AEW figures are things I don't think they could put out in general retail. So I think those are perfect ringside exclusives.
Good point.
And it is a defining moment for him. So I think it works perfectly.
It definitely was, right?
So I really like the gear in the half white and half blue, and then you also get a bull rope, which I thought was kind of cool.
It's everyone's favorite match.
I hate the matches in real life generally, but I've always wanted a dog collar or a bull rope or a strap, just because I don't have anything like that. So they had the MJF and Punk, speaking of bloody figures, the Blood and Guts dog collar match pack, but it was $150, and I didn't want to do that, especially because I only would really use the MJF.
Right. That's crazy.
And then the last one I have one with me is the Elite 102 Theory in the Captain America gear. I really like the ring gear just because I think not only because I like Marvel, but I just think the colors are really nice on it, but the faces are just wacky as hell. Good. They got the one that weird smiling face you do. It's from the selfie face of Theory, right? It's when he had the kind of the soul patch and the mustache and not the beard. Mm-hmm. It's selfie, that kind of Theory. He's got that weird smiling face. And he's got the where he's making I don't know. It's just the weirdest faces. They're such large and long heads, and I don't.
It's not quite cartoon version of them, but it's not like their actual head either. So somewhere in between.
It looks like him, but that's just not like. It seems more practical for if you had an Ultimate Edition where they're just alternate heads. I wish this came with these two and maybe like a normal head too. You know what I mean? Anyways, just trying to go off of memory here. I think I got a couple older elites. I found an Elite 59 Finn Balor, Demon Balor that I don't have. It's from the one time he made an appearance on Raw in the feud of Seth Rollins before the Universal title match, where he just like, it was the first time the Demon was on the main roster. He just showed up on Raw instead of saving it for SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have that one, and then also the Demon Balor from the where he tore his shoulder.
Yep.
That match. You know, the Balor I was after for ages.
Correct.
That one's really nice. I got, I guess relevant to theory, I have a Elite 92 Rey Mysterio in a black and orange with a singlet.
And there it is right there.
That one's
I'm looking for the picture I took of all your boxes stacked up.
I don't know if I think I took a picture, but
I did, but I don't know where it went.
So. I'll kind of look for it as I'm talking. I also got a relevant to, I guess, All In was I got a Samoa Joe Elite from, I think it was Elite 56, so that's going back like 50 series now, I think, which is pretty wild. But that one was in like black and green shorts, which I thought was really nice. It is not here. Is it in my camera roll? I don't know. And then what else? I got a King Xavier Woods Elite 97 because I figured that'd be good to have for the New Day, because I have an old Elite Biggie, and then I have a WrestleMania Kofi as well. And then what else did we get? I'm going off of memory here. What?
Doing all right so far, but now
I'm doing okay. Wait, okay. I got Elite 103 Lashley in the black and yellow tights, which I thought was cool because I don't have an Elite Lashley, so I want to get that, which was cool. I only have a basic of him from like a battle pack. And then I got Elite 103 Roman, which will come back up later, which, because I don't have a red gauntlet Roman, it's got a different head and Universal title style place. I thought it was cool enough, and it's different. At least get an updated Roman, at least. And then
there wasn't a Mellow, was there?
No, there was one. Let me see. What was it? There was Roman, Rollins, Lashley, Theory, Mysterio, Woods, Joe, Balor. I'm missing two. What else I got. Okay. Elite 80, I think. The Chase variant, Kyle O'Reilly in the black and yellow, because I have the camo version of that.
Yep.
But I always wanted that one because it's from before that, but the look of the gear always reminded me of his NXT solo run when he faced Balor. Like, it looks a lot like that to me. So I got that because I always wanted that one just because it reminded me of the solo O'Reilly. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then I feel like I am missing one.
One that's escaping you.
What? I
know I took two pictures and I don't.
I got some more random ones too. Oh,
can't help you.
Crap.
I'm not gonna. I
don't even remember. I should know this, and I was like, I had them all piled together. Oh, okay, I got it. Last one. I got one AEW figure, and it was the Target Unrivaled, the Sammy Guevara, in the red and black.
Right.
Which is funny because I think last time I was at the Comic-Con, I got the Target Derby. So those ones are good because we don't have Target, so that's my only time to get those.
And so you did also pick up Star Wars stuff, so there's probably only one thing you need to mention.
I got two Star Wars figures. I got a Mando from Season 1.
Right.
Because I couldn't find a silver Mando and got a Mando. Then I got Shadow Trooper from Force Unleashed, which is that weird kind of bluish one. I thought that was kind of cool because I love those games. I got a couple movie posters because there's this place selling them. That was cool. Like the actual, I think, movie theater posters for my two favorite Star Wars movies, which was Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi, in that order.
One of those is a good choice.
Dude, Revenge of the Sith. You gotta give it its flowers. It is.
Son are you?
You gotta give it its flowers, man.
It's the best of the worst ones.
It's the best of the best.
Wow.
I'm not saying the other two are good. I'm just saying it's the best. I got a deck of cards that are Mando inspired because I thought the cards themselves looked really cool. Actually, I like how those look. I don't think I showed you yet. They also had a Fallen Order deck, but I decided to choose one. I got a gold.
Such restraint.
I got a gold $100 bill, an American looking one, but whatever. I got a Vader one because I have a Deadpool one from last time.
Dude, don't take it out of the collar.
I won't. We're not taking it out this time.
That was hard to get back in.
I think that's it. Oh, I got some Funkos. There was like an exclusive Star-Lord one that's weird color that I got. I got a Deadpool one because I love Deadpool. They had did you ever watch Origins Wolverine? It was like 2 and 7.
Did not.
Okay. There's a really crappy like I use air quotes Deadpool that they use at the end, where it's like he had a combination. Anyways, it was a really stupid thing and I hate it, but they had a Funko of that and I almost got it 'cause it's one of those things where it's so dumb it makes me laugh.
You do
that. We hit a GameStop across from Eaton Center, which is a kind of a mall thing in Toronto, I guess, right? Like
it's the big mall downtown Toronto.
I got MODOK without the helmet on because he's funny. He was like stupid funny, and so I have one with the helmet on. So now those look good together. Then I had 2 Star Wars Funkos. I think I got Crosshair because he's my boy from Bad Batch,
and
he's
Vader,
my favorite. And I got Vader from when he dies in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And then the creme de la creme is they had this really nice place with replica lightsabers. And I think if anyone's even remotely a fan of Star Wars, I think that's something everyone's wanted at one point.
Yes.
And I got one. We won't specify finances.
But suffice it to say, it's a premium
item. It's a premium item. I got, once again, going back to Return of the Jedi, I got Luke's lightsaber from Episode 6. If anyone
that's the hilt. That's
what the hilt looks like. And then it comes, like, I think it's got like 15 different sounds on it. So it does have Luke's sound, like lightsaber sound and color from the movie, obviously. Yeah. But then you've got like a bunch of other options, like the dark saber or Kylo Ren's lightsaber, Anakin, Obi-Wan,
whatever
Leia's
lightsaber you want.
And then you can hook it up with an app too, like Bluetooth, and you can change the like specific sound, and you can change the color more specifically. Yeah. You can you can do blaster sounds with them, whatever. I don't know. It's pretty sweet, and you can screw the blade on and off. You get a stand with it too. It's nice. I think it's
cool.
It was either that or a replica belt one of these days.
I was very skeptical when you were telling me about it, and then as I'm like, it's there's an app and you have like every colored blade you want. It can change to. It's super bright. The sounds are good. You can adjust the volume and whatnot.
It's one of my favorite things. It was super sweet. It's one of those things like
it's like the side plates when you got them.
Yeah, and I mean someday we'll get on the belt, but I think the lightsaber is cooler because you can honestly it's super fun to. Because it's premium, you screw the blade in, and then it's super sturdy, so you can swing that thing around as much as you want.
And it makes the appropriate sound when you hit stuff.
It's super fun to swing around, which is dumb, but it's awesome. And my friend got one too, so Hancock got one. He got Revan's lightsaber. He's a Legends character, but
nice.
He's really cool. So I'm hoping
he got one too.
Next time we can mess around with those.
Battle.
Those are really sweet. But yeah, it was cool. It was a sizable haul too. And it was nice.
And to be fair, like you really only spend money on 2 weekends, which is Comic-Con and this one, and then you pretty much don't, especially when you're working a lot.
I do try to stave off of it now.
You're a binge spender.
Yeah.
You know who's like that? My buddy Paul.
Yeah.
He's like, and I say this affectionately because it's a great way to be, like day-to-day cheap, to be like when he wants to do something, he does it. He wants to go down and see Cam Neely's retirement from the Bruins, he does it. He wants to go see
of course he would.
a week of comedy shows out in California because that's what he loves, he does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, the only thing I will say I'm guilty of is it's hard not to buy food on my break because like I always forget to bring food, and sometimes we don't really have anything I want to take, and then I get hungry, I'm like,
and you're surrounded by food options there, meaning mostly McDonald's.
It's literally right there. It's horrible. Yeah, but yeah, we saved up for this, and then there's like so much crap.
So, and I mean, part of it too is like you're down in Toronto with your 3 buddies for 4 days off and on, and then I like it too. Mom and I like it because you're home to the safety of home, and we can check in with you, and then away you go the next day. So it was good.
I was quoted as saying before that I was gonna go balls out. So
yeah, you did definitely.
There was
came home with bags of stuff every day.
There was warnings. Yeah, we got like a nice big expo bag too, and just to hold the crap.
I'm sure that'll be a tradition for you to head down there. So you know how I was down throwing darts at Mike's last night? He really wants to go to Fan Expo. He wanted to. I can't remember what he's saying. He almost went last year or something, but he's into that kind of stuff.
I gotta whip out the lightsaber at the next party
for him, and maybe you could answer. You know, his big thing is like horror stuff. So is that a genre that's there? I would
say so. Yeah, there's like a lot of figure places, and there was definitely some horror stuff too. You just gotta kind of look around.
Has like
there's so many things.
He has like some Friday the 13th and stuff like that.
Yeah, I definitely saw things like that. There's so many places. Honestly, you'd be hard pressed to not find something like that. Like anything pop culture like that. Honestly, I would say it's near impossible to find. Like not find at least one thing where it's like, you know what I mean? Especially with there's so many places that sell those Funko Pop things, and the Funko Pops, they're such a broad.
Yes.
Because Funko Pops, there's like anime ones. There's
everything.
There's so many like
sports
there's so
ones.
Random ones. I saw a lot of cool office ones as well, right? But I have one for Free Guy here, like. those are such a broad thing too. So even if you want like something small for something you're into, like I'm sure they got like horror ones.
So you may see him there at some point in the future because he really wants to go. All right, well, that's a lengthy banter for us, but it's good. It was all you, which is nice for once.
Yeah.
So we'll get into the regular scheduled program, but we're gonna also add an All In review, right? We'll do that after the news. About All In. And then I guess we'll have to preview Payback and All Out too.
I have those on.
Oh, you got those prepared? Yeah. So I feel like it's going to be a beefy episode, but that's okay. We've got time before you have to go to work. So I say we get into that now with our first regular segment, and that's taking a look at some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. All right, so ratings this week. NXT down 614,000, that is. So down 14.7%, well below that 700,000 threshold. Earned a 0.16 in the key demographic, down 15.8%. NXT's lowest number since July 4th, which isn't that long ago. I love when they do that. And here's even more qualifiers. Ties the lowest non-holiday rating since May 16th. Some of these stats they pull out.
What would the other... I don't even...
Right? It's not even worth thinking about.
I don't even understand.
And this week's episode of Dynamite averaged 871,000 viewers, up... it's a small amount when I didn't even get it in percent. Up 100 viewers. Like, that's a fraction of a percent.
I don't think that really matters.
No. So basically the same. Earned a 0.3 in the key demographic, down slightly at 6.3%. So both companies down of the ratings we track this week. What do you have for us?
The big ongoing news of the week was how WWE earned huge government paydays from Clash at the Castle last year.
I saw a bit of that. Wasn't it several $million?
They got $3 million in government subsidies.
I mean, it's nothing compared to what they get from the Saudi shows, but
that's still something.
Money nonetheless.
Because I think it brought a lot of money to wherever that was.
And this is
Cardiff.
You sarcastically saying this is the big story.
That
this
is
week?
The big story.
Because you have a bigger story coming.
I feel like that's the big one.
I was going to go over the
fish.
Impact Emergence results, which not only did I not go to even though it was in Toronto because you were working, and honestly,
I was at All In, or sorry, not All In, Expo.
Yes, right, that too. Sorry, not working. I was thinking of going by myself because I don't really care, and so I was keeping my eye on tickets, and they were just they weren't reasonably priced. I thought they would drop near the end. Yeah. And it was like, I'm not paying $100 to go down because the card didn't look that great to me. And the reviews I've read, that wasn't very highly rated by many people. So fine. But I like to go to shows live when they're in Toronto, but their prices were not.
Especially Impact. Again, Impact, we went in like the perfect time.
Yes. Because
way back.
All the general admission tickets were gone. So there was specific. But now that we know the venue, right? I know how like random the seating was, and we pretty much could have sat anywhere. Remember, we had specific seats, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know, just sit in this section, not front row." Right. So I'm not paying $93 for a specific seat when I know very well someone who paid $15 for a general admission might be sitting right beside me because they don't really control the seating at all. But anyways, so I didn't watch it, but I think because I cover the weekly show, it kind of helps if people are interested in context. So really quickly on the pre-show, Bayley defeated Alan Angels. I did read that match was pretty decent. Then we had Joya. Do you know what tag team that is? Joya. It's a WWE move of combining names.
Oh, well, this is Hendry and Nomura. I had to think about that for a second.
So they beat the Good Hands on the pre-show. Then main show, it was Eric Young defeated Diener in a no DQ match. MK Ultra retained the women's knockouts tag titles. They defeated Shaw and Evans, Death Dolls, and Kylan King and Jody Threat. I didn't even notice. Was she replacing Taylor Wilde? Anyways, that's what it says.
Let me see.
Kenny King retained the digital media. He beats Johnny Swinger. No surprise there, I don't think. The Rascals are the new tag champs. They defeated Subculture. And then you had Eddie Edwards beat Frankie Kazarian in a back-to-school match that I think was only like 4 minutes or something. It was like... It was off-site somewhere. I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, Jody...
Threat was in it.
That is weird. Oh, the Shaw entourage. That's funny.
Right? Yeah. There was weeks ago where I was trying to remember their name. I remember because I was listening back, and I couldn't for the life of me remember.
That's
but that's what it was.
I like that.
Sonata beat Jake something, obviously, and then I think they did like a respect thing afterwards. I think they're trying to actually get Jake something over, which is good.
It's a back to school match. Sorry, I'm just looking at the results again. Is that 4 minutes? That's lame.
And they went back to like their kind of like a dojo or whatever, I think maybe.
It's back. No, I thought back to school match would just be like, do you remember? I think Jarrett and China had the Good Housekeeping match, and it was like it's only. No. I thought it's like you can only like you hit each other with a desk or something.
Because reviews I was reading were saying like they thought part of the reason it was only 4 minutes was because it wasn't in front of a live crowd. I think I remember correctly, so I don't know what it was exactly, but anyways. So you had the team of Bully Ray Moose, Brian Myers, and Leo Rush, who's the X Division champion right now. They defeated Time Machine, which is Alex Shelley, Sabin, and Kushida.
And Alexander.
And Josh Alexander, obviously, or it would have been a handicap match. And then in the main event, Trinity successfully defended her Knockouts championship against Deonna Purrazzo, made Purrazzo
Maybe
tap
she should
out.
marry Jey Uso, main event Trinity.
And then they were respectful, shaking hands after the match as well, if I read things correctly. So that was a quick rundown of that show. I read 2 or 3 different reviews, wasn't well received, because what I'll do with Impact shows, right, is I'll just go back. If they're like, yeah, it was awesome, I'll go back and maybe cherry pick or watch the whole thing. This time I did none of those things. What else you have?
The only thing I have this week, and that's because it's a chunky boy, is more things to do with Chicago made Phillip.
This is the lead you were burying with that other story.
Yeah. So apparently at All In, there was an backstage confrontation with CM Punk and Mr. Jack Perry.
Listen, man, all CM Punk wants is for everyone to be professional.
Yeah.
Why can't everyone
stupid children,
just be professional?
These stupid children.
Anyways, go ahead.
It was before Punk went for the opener, and I think it would have been after. I think Perry just came back from
because that was the difference
FTW
between
match.
the 0 hour and main show, right? So they would have been Jungle Boy on his way back, and Punk on his way out, sort of thing, I imagine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So Punk's side, Perry approached him and got in his face and bumped him. Then Punk shoved him and choked him.
Because shoving is professional.
Yeah.
Professional shoving.
Professional choke.
Choke too, yeah.
He's an MMA fighter, so.
Right. Keeping it professional.
Other accounts say Punk approached, words were exchanged. Punk threw the first shot, went for a choke, and it was broken up. Reports say that both were suspended after, although I'm not sure if that's confirmed because I'm not sure what the deal with the suspension is. People close to Punk say he didn't have much communication with Tony Khan after the incident and went as far to tell people he hates this place because of all the issues, but many within would say he's responsible for said issues.
Time to give him another show.
He's also quoted as saying I quit. So hopefully that's literal.
Binding. That is a binding verbal contract.
That's verbal confirmation right there. Perry's side was he got the glass spot from the match, obviously. From the pre-show, that was cleared, and then he was told by Punk he couldn't do it, which he felt was because he was friends with the Bucks.
I don't think anyone needs to use real glass, so I'm not really anti-Jungle Boy on that one.
I think that's fine. Then more details from a quote neutral source. Punk went nose to nose with Perry as the latter came back through the curtain after his match with Hook. In the wake of being asked if he had a problem with Punk, Perry replied, Perry said that his comment in the match, because he's made some nod to it.
Yeah, he did.
He said that was just getting heel heat. This led to Punk shoving him. Perry responded by getting in Punk's face. Then Punk sucker punched Perry and went into lock and choke. Folks nearby would quickly break up the scrap. Tony Khan even said to have yelled at Punk to let him go. Punk then reportedly, quote, lunged in his boss's direction, but was held back by a number of individuals in the area.
Very professionally lunged.
Before shouting, I quit.
Yeah, also professional.
That's a binding
document
clause right there. Yeah, I'm documenting that. Monitors were allegedly knocked down, and Samoa Joe, despite being upset about the situation, was responsible for calming Punk down. So who's the professional
I was
here?
hoping that sentence finished with Samoa Joe was responsible for choking Punk out.
You remember how he used the NXT enforcer kind of thing?
You
like a real life
both of
version
them
of
out
that.
at the same time if you wanted to.
He probably could.
Yeah.
It'd be like Natalya trying to do a double sharpshooter, except it'd actually be effective.
And obviously neither of us were there and neither of us have any inside information, but we choose to believe the version that make Punk look the worst. I think I speak for both of us.
It sounds the most right. And honestly, I don't know how much more they can take of this. Like how much longer is Tony Khan going to put up with this?
Either Tony Khan is just such a massive fan of this guy, which seems to be the case if you saw that little where he was like manic and even Punk's looking at him at the like post whatever conference. It wasn't for All In, I don't think. I can't remember. Anyways, I saw a clip of it somewhere.
For Bandor? I don't know.
Or this Punk is creating revenue, which maybe he is.
But like at some point, this is like it's getting to WCW Hogan levels, and except maybe more petty. I don't know, but like it's getting to be such a problem that you gotta just. And even I don't think they're doing bad without Punk before this either.
Even if he doesn't have creative control, there's gonna come a time where they're gonna pitch something to him that he's not gonna want to do, or maybe it's already happened, right? And
I wouldn't be surprised.
You've given this guy gets in a physical altercation with your EVPs and bites people, and you bring him back and give him his own show, and
but he's still causing issues.
Bitches and moans about other people being professional and being too sensitive, which is
exactly
unbelievably hypocritical.
Yeah,
and then it's already happening.
The only time he's creating,
or it's the greatest work of all time, one or the other.
You got to
cover all. You got to hedge just in case.
The only way he's creating a peaceful environment is just by kicking people off Collision.
Right.
And that's his solution. He'll either fight them or kick them out, which is stupid.
And then it's like, not only that, but you can come back and you can take our title and deface it and call yourself the real champion and face no repercussions from the actual champion whatsoever.
Yeah, like MJF's just off.
Doing something else.
It's because Collision almost exists in another orbit.
It's on an island.
Which is why I don't like it, because it's not like there's a brand split or anything. It's not like WWE where they're supposed to be in like completely different orbits. It's just the Punk orbit.
And it's our favorite company. It's the B show, and we make no time for it.
I can't.
We tried. I tried more than you, and I still just can't do it.
They need to.
The time slot's bad.
The time slot's not great, but I think they just need to change it too. If it wasn't the Punk show and just like
it would help
extension of Dynamite, then I would be okay with that. And I like getting more screen time for guys like Bullet Club Gold and stuff
Aussie
like
Open.
that. Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
But I don't. It just doesn't work, and I think it's because it's so Punk controlled, and it's just like, I don't know. Hopefully he gets suspended and that he can take a break from main eventing the show every other week.
That'd be great.
I don't know. It's absurd the amount of crap he gets into, and I don't like. I mean, say what you want about Vince McMahon, and we have, but he keeps people in line. This doesn't happen under Vince. I will say, if I'm going to say anything positive about him, I'm going to say that this would not slide under him. This is not happening to this level.
Because Vince's stance, right or wrong, is nobody is bigger than the company. Nobody. Like, even if it's The Rock trying to hold him up or Austin for something.
Or, like,
at some point, he goes,
back in the day with, like, Ultimate Warrior.
Right.
Or, like, stuff like that. Yep. Like, I think something with Jarrett.
You try and strong-arm Vince McMahon on stuff, he
backfires,
just goes, see you later.
Right? So, I will say, I think Tony Khan needs more of that. Not to be like Vince, but to, in a way, be
take
like
a step
Vince.
Towards that.
Right? Because clearly, I think it's getting to the point where Punk is, whether it's true or not, thinking he's bigger than the company, and Tony Khan is somewhat feeding that ego.
I agree.
So
somewhat.
Something needs to change, because this would not happen under Vince. At most, Punk walked out, and that was it.
Yep.
Right.
You're dead to him. Basically.
This is Punk walking out, causing a scene when he walks out, coming back, causing more scenes, and nothing really happens.
He'll bring you back when you're old and useless, and give you a tiny like Legends contract, just almost as in like, see, I knew you'd come crawling back.
Yeah.
But you're not in
or
your prime,
inducted in the Hall of Fame
really
or some BS like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the ongoing thing of the week, and it's just more crap from Chicago, Phil.
Yep. Only other things I have is a couple injury updates. Apparently, Danielson, it was told he will be able to return in October, and the article went on to say that it will be like a photo finish to see if he's cleared in time for WrestleDream, which is October 1st. So like,
it's
obviously,
like a Forbidden Door 2, I think.
Right. So obviously that's October, but pretty early in October. So,
Osprey Omega?
Imagine. And then Bandito, who suffered a triangular fibrocartilage injury.
I completely forgot he was injured.
Yeah.
I didn't even remember when he got injured.
So this is the bone that connects your forearm to your wrist, it says. So he
seems important.
So he went out on June 14th, I think it was, and he had surgery to repair it in early July, is on track to return sometime this month. So that's good. You think they'll put him in a tag team with his brother now? Gravity?
Oh,
right.
I would chuck them on ROH, yeah.
Yeah. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Unless you have plans for him as a single, which I'm fine with too.
Yeah, but I don't know if they would.
This past week's Dynamite, I was telling you, had to be rewritten at the last minute due to several wrestlers missing the show, so getting their WWE practice in here, right?
I did also see that. I don't know if it was because of this, but I don't know if that's one of the causes here, but I remember seeing Tony Khan was letting anyone skip out if they wanted to attend the Bray Wyatt services.
Oh, nice. No, this was Hurricane prevented Omega and some others from Florida from
that
getting
would
to
make
Chicago.
sense. I feel like Omega would be kind of vital for the All Out.
Right, a go-home show sort of thing. And then Swerve and Saraya missed the show due to illness. So there's had to change some of the storytelling there. Final thing I
need Swerve doing stuff again. He was on a good run before they screwed the pooch with Fox.
Yes. And apparently, like I said, I heard that Fox just didn't want to go.
That's so weird.
To All In. Yeah, that is strange. Bianca Belair is taking some time off is the last thing I have.
I saw that too, yeah.
Anywhere from, this is funny, it sounds like somebody trying to cover themselves. Anywhere from under a month to possibly 3 months. So that's a pretty big range to make sure you're not wrong, right? Like, could be 3 days, could be 3 months. It also noted in the same article that she has been receiving praise for her run with the WWE Championship, which is good.
She did have a really good run, yes.
And I think the thing here also that she is...
maybe they were praising her SummerSlam run. You know, that was like, what, a couple minutes? That was a really good run, actually.
And they're also praising, and I think it's really important, is that the media schedule and community stuff and stuff with kids and whatever, she's like Cena kind of ish in that sense, that she's
yeah, she would probably be big for that too.
She's really presentable and really good
woman
on
of color,
camera.
but she's also a really talented one at that. She is. Right? So weren't you saying that's why she likes being a babyface or something, right? Because you can do all of that.
I'm glad she panned out because I've been on. She's a can't miss star from NXT.
Yeah, I remember you thinking especially that and I did like her too, but you thought I remember. She was really good, but she was kind of unpolished. Yes. You know what I mean? At times, she did have a lot of potential from the get go, and I think it's really nice that she's really become polished and just well rounded.
She's not just tumbling around like the gymnast, because she can do all that stuff too. But she's also a powerhouse. She's charisma. She can talk.
I think she had a long run that kind of went unappreciated because Roman and Roman's now at 3 years, which is crazy, but she had a really nice long run that kind of goes a little under the radar, I feel like, just at least in length, right? And it was also weird seeing Roman, because when he wins the title, it was weird because the Fiend and Strowman were in the triple threat, both heels. Roman's a heel, and then Roman came out. He's wearing the shirt. He's still got the old gun with the Big Dog logo, and he's coming out to the Shield theme with the Roman Empire Tron. It's weird because it's just the makings of the tribal chief at this point, right? When he wins the title, so it's weird to see him with all the old Roman things kind of still clinging on. But yeah, R.I.P. Fiend.
For sure. Yeah, you weren't around to talk about that last week, so I had to handle that one on my own. That was a rough one for you.
Crazy, yeah. I don't. Just kind of came out of nowhere. It's
36 years old with kids, man. It's terrible
It's
stuff.
The Brody Lee thing. Honestly, it doesn't. It's one of those things where I don't really talk like that, but it doesn't feel real because it's
no.
I don't know. It's just weird. At least we didn't jinx it this time, I guess. But
part of it would be more jarring if he'd been on TV every week, but he's been gone and there's been speculation about his health and stuff. Still
but I don't think I ever expected him to just die like that.
No.
And it sucks because I feel like his last run kind of sucked, and I think he deserved better than that, because I think he's
the gimmick had huge potential, but I think it got out of his control and got tainted, and then I just couldn't.
I missed the Fiend. Yes, I think his current gimmick that he had with the LA Knight thing, the Uncle Howdy, it could have been good maybe, but we'll never know, right? Because it certainly wasn't at the time, and I don't. Yeah, because he's never been a ring general, and I never thought he was, but I always
it's the creativity and the willing to take risks and just coming up with crazy ideas that somehow work. The
Funhouse,
partially.
I will always stand by that. The Funhouse and the Fiend was freaking amazing.
The original parts was cool,
awesome. It was
all can't miss, and it was with the puppets and stuff.
And all the callbacks to the previous. It was amazing, and
the Vince puppet was great.
I'll never forgive them for screwing that, because I think the WWE title reign when he lost to Orton at Mania 33, remember the projection match?
Yes.
I think that was a huge misfire, losing that belt. But I think losing the Fiend losing to Goldberg was far worse.
Yeah.
And then getting burned and then coming back, they really screwed him.
And NXT Wyatt family, once they got rolling, it was awesome.
I think Wyatt family had a lot of potential
too. The whole rocking chair thing, and it was.
I think he had two really good things that they could have capitalized on, and they just screwed the pooch both times, and now it's too late.
Yep.
Which sucks. And I don't know, Rowan and Strowman too, but especially Eric Rowan, he must be
yeah, man, that's
I feel bad.
2/3 of his family in wrestling wiped out.
That's brutal. I did see him on the tribute show, which was kind of cool. At least they brought him in there.
Good.
That's it's wild. And the Terry Funk I saw too, but that he's He's pretty wrecked. Though.
Almost 80 as well, and been health issues forever.
Yeah, I that one, not to discount it, but it's just like.
And I was telling people,
I've heard he's pretty wrecked or whatever.
I was telling people last week when you weren't here to go back and watch some prime Terry Funk, like go watch some of his stuff with Flair and whatever. He was all round, like, yeah, hardcore legend, whatever, but everything, like legit wrestling, talking, everything. He was amazing.
I rewatched The Fiend attacking Balor.
Nice. All right, we got to get into talking some wrestling because this is going to be a long episode. So we'll go back to last Saturday. We'll go back to London, to Wembley, right? Is it in London? Whatever it is.
Yep.
We're going to Wembley.
London.
We're going to talk about AEW All In. All right, so All In from Wembley. Anything you wanted to comment on the stadium, how it looked?
I thought it looked amazing. It did wonders for AEW's look, because just like, honestly, I was taken aback a little, because I feel like, I don't know, I feel like with WWE shows, it's just understated how insane a stadium setup can be sometimes, because I feel like Mania, it does look amazing. Mania, like this year, Mania looked amazing. It looks great in a big setting, but it's typical for them. Like, they do that every year now. And so obviously that was amazing. But I think AEW's product, especially because I'm used to them in arenas, and even the Arthur Ashe Stadium for Dynamite Grand Slam, I feel like that definitely did feel different to me, but it didn't feel like as different as this did. I feel like this, like with the how like incredibly huge Wembley is, and like the outdoor
open
like,
air,
you can feel the natural light in there, right? So I think that looked absolutely insane. I thought their stage was really nice too. I liked just like the big screen and the kind of like the entranceway. I really like the screens in the tunnel. I thought that was really cool. Obviously, I always love the Dynamite tunnels more, but I really like this too, because I thought like some people looked really cool coming out that way. I thought Bullet Club Gold's entrance was really nice.
It definitely felt big time, right?
It did. It definitely felt big time. It definitely felt like just the look of it matched the magnitude that they are promising. So I thought it looked really nice. It was a really nice change of pace for them.
It did. Looked really good. They looked big time, and I mean, not to spoil the end, but they do announce that they're coming back to do it again next year. Obviously, if you sell 81,000 tickets or whatever, you're probably going to go back again.
I hope they can somehow get more.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool. What was it? 81,035, I think.
I have it in the review when they announced it. It was Nigel came out and announced it somewhere through. So 0 Hour, we have to mention because there are things of consequence on this, right? Which just in general I thought was great. Like, they made their pre-show matter, right?
Yeah, I actually thought the
throwaway matches.
The pre-show match choices were actually very good.
So the opening was MJF and Adam Cole taking on Aussie Open.
Hey, say what you want. Proud of my boys for getting on there.
For what, the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championships?
Aussie Open are on there. I'll take it.
And that was my first thing. Have we ever cared about a pre-show match more than this?
No.
Because it's the two main eventers of the biggest show.
I think the only pre-show match I can remember actually, like, at least on paper, looking really good is I remember SummerSlam 2017, Usos and New Day was on the pre-show, that's crazy.
So this actually matters.
Yeah, for sure.
You have Aussie Open attack immediately, and they run MJF and Cole into each other like the budget super collider thing. They did that. MJF starts out against Mark Davis. Commentary are wondering, and this is part of the story, right? Will Cole actually tag in? Because there's a chance he's just going to abandon MJF, let MJF get killed by amazing double team moves, and then have him softened up for the main event, right? So, and it's looking that way because we get a couple teases of a tag, but Davis stops one of them, Fletcher stops the other by pulling Cole off the apron and away for an MJF tag.
MJF could just tag out and then walk off.
There's also that possibility, right? So that's what these stories are, because someone's turning on somebody, or you're sure somebody is, right?
Yeah.
I thought that added to the drama. Then we get a basic beatdown of MJF until he flips over so that Fletcher ends up crotching himself on MJF's shins. I think he was going for like the sort of working the lower back, and he flipped over. Cole finally does tag in and is on fire. He boots to each of Aussie Open. It culminates in a backstabber to Fletcher for 2. Fletcher runs into a really nice super kick. They call for the double clothesline. The crowd is anticipating it, but Davis pulls Fletcher to the floor. MJF does his reluctant dive spot, but Aussie Open recover in time.
He does.
And they
for a
take
guy
control.
who doesn't really do that, he has a very nice suicide dive.
Yeah, he does it later in the show.
Yep.
Then we get the Aussie Arrow, which I don't even remember what it was, but Excalibur told me that's what it was. So that's what. Do you remember? It's one of their double team.
I feel
moves.
like it might have been the cutter thing that they always do.
I
don't know.
they've pinned someone with it recently.
They just beat the Hardys with it because they did nothing.
That's
basically.
Right.
It was that.
MJF ducks, Aussie Open hit each other. MJF hits the kangaroo kick to a good reaction, but not from me. And I put not loving how much Aussie Open have to sell it. Double clothesline, and it's over after 7 minutes, ? So my immediate reaction when this match ended was annoyance.
Yeah, I was a little peeved.
I don't like how this makes Aussie Open look overall fine.
This is what I was kind of afraid of as well.
If you want Aussie Open to lose, I guess fine.
No.
I don't love we put 2 singles together for a super tag, but it has to be long and competitive. One of my favorite tag teams here lost a short match to a team of singles.
I don't think my issue. I don't have an issue with the singles thing because I think they've built the team enough of Cole and MJF. I feel like that's not my issue, but I do agree. I think this had to be competitive if Aussie Open was going to lose. I mean,
agree.
I was always going to be annoyed with Aussie Open losing because they're one of my favorite teams going right now, if not like at least currently my favorite. I love them a lot. They're so good. So I think them losing was kind of a travesty, but I feel like if it was competitive at the very least, it would have been okay, but I don't think they did.
Compounded by the fact that they lost to basically multiple comedy-based offensive moves.
Yeah,
kangaroo kick and a double clothesline.
Double clothesline's not a match ender.
Pinned in 7 minutes. Right?
I think like when they beat Garcia and Guevara, I think at least there was a last shot either before or after the clothesline. You know what I mean? Like something to at least like punctuate that. Which I don't think they did here, which I think was kind of an issue for me.
So I feel like, and this is just me, that the MJF Cole dynamic kind of went better than they expected, and maybe this wasn't always the plan, and they ended up having to sacrifice Aussie Open to further this story.
I do think there's something like that involved.
And I don't love that this happened to Aussie Open.
No.
They got almost nothing.
I was always going to be disappointed with Aussie Open losing because I love them a lot, but yeah, I thought the match itself wasn't the best just because it was. I feel like we could have gotten a good match out of this.
It was more of a plot point in someone else's story arc than anything to do with Aussie Open.
Yeah,
and I don't love that.
And
right?
I thought the story would have been more interesting with Cole and MJF losing. But...
And Aussie Open's strength is their double team offense, and I made a note that they only hit one double team move, and it was really frustrating start for me. Like I get it, you had to do it to keep the story alive for the main event, but it has to be longer and more competitive to me. Then for the first time here, they show Mercedes Moné in attendance at All In. They do it again during the main show, but not. I thought it was interesting. They don't show her anywhere near the women's match. They show her much later.
She's not
I think.
Cleared.
Right, and they don't even know where she is. Like they don't. I think they just don't want people to start speculating. Right, if they'd shown her as they're making their entrances for that, oh, here she comes. Right, so I mean, they're still going to be that.
Culture when they're doing the ups and downs, they put it down as it's like she didn't do anything, but like she's not cleared. So
no, right.
I'm not expecting anything either.
Then we get Hook versus Jungle Boy. Jungle Boy shows up in, is it a limo? Then it parks it at the top of the ramp, right?
Yeah, so you got to have it for the spot.
They do. Brawl up the aisle. Hook sends Jungle Boy into the open door. The car looked okay. And then Hook takes a really nasty suplex on the roof of the car. Cool looking Rolling Thunder, right? As a sort of a callback.
Yeah,
off of the roof onto the Hook on the hood. Jungle Boy then takes a fisherman's suplex through the windshield. Draping DDT off a barricade a little bit later to Jungle Boy. Trash can up against Hook in the corner, and his back is cut wide open here. Jungle Boy teases the Van Dominator, but hops down and mocks the crowd. We get 2 bridging Germans by Jungle Boy for 2, a third, and a super kick, but Hook counters into a couple Germans of his own. Jungle Boy with a mule kick that catches Hook. Is caught by Hook, and he hits an exploder into the corner to Jungle Boy. Tiger Driver by Jungle Boy for 2. Trash can to Hook's midsection, but he avoids a moonsault and hits Jungle Boy in the head with a trash can. Crossface, Red Rum. Perry can't get to the ropes, and he taps out after 8.5 minutes. Hook wins back the FTR title. I thought this was Sorry, the F. That's what I have. FTW, the Fear the Revolver.
Oh yeah,
my favorite sign.
I saw someone with the sign. I don't know if it was from this or Collision, or it might have been Dynamite. I don't know.
I don't think it was the pay-per-view, but I don't think
remember. It was the pay-per-view. But I showed you one. Someone had a sign that says CM Punk because he's friends with FTR. It says no flips, just fits.
My favorite
which
sign.
Is funny. Fear the Revolver is really awesome. Good.
My favorite sign at All In was the 4 Non, because it's a reference to the show I've become obsessed with in the last couple months called Peep Show. It's a British show.
Oh, that one.
Oh, I love that show so much. And that's one of the 4 Non, Jeremy. So I love that. I don't know if anyone else would get that reference, but I thought this was a fun little match on the pre-show. Lots of
I thought this was really nice for
the choice to start out right at the car allowed for a couple quick things right in a row that looked cool in an 8-minute match, right?
Yeah, and it was less like, because I feel like it'd be a little more boring if they were starting wrestle, then they make their way up, and like at least it was kind of like meeting there, you know.
So I thought it was short but fun. It gave us a couple really cool spots. I think it's
weird that we like never heard of FTW rules. Then now with the RVD match and this, all of a sudden it's like FTW, which I mean it's fine. It allowed for a more fun match, I thought.
Right.
And I think Hook winning the title back makes sense.
Where do you think they go from here? Is what I was wondering.
I think this is kind of it. Like I
think so too.
I don't really see anywhere else to go. If
Jungle Boy goes somewhere else, and
Jungle Boy can go do something else, and Hook's back. Like the status quo has been reset.
Right, that kind of
and
feels
that's
like it.
Kind of it, really. Yep. Like Jungle Boy, the only thing I will say about this is I don't think it really did a ton for Jungle Boy.
No,
just in general. Or Jack Perry. Sorry,
took some punishment. Looked all right. Okay, main show starts, and my first note is there's a 4 Non sign almost right in front of the hard cam, as I already mentioned. Made me so happy. The opening match, as we know, because you talked in the news about Jungle Boy and CM Punk running into each other backstage, it is CM Punk taking on Samoa Joe for the, quote, real AEW championship.
Not the real world's championship.
Yes. Cut to MJF not caring somehow.
Which is like, that's probably like, MJF should sue them for defamation of character, because he should care way too much about that.
So much. He should care so hard.
He should care he should have all the care in the world.
So Punk early with mocking chops, avoiding Joe's chops. Back suplex by Joe, but Punk maintains a headlock. Then Joe is in control on the floor with some huge chops. Punk avoids being flattened against the barricade, and then they head back in the ring. Chops send Punk. They did the teeter-totter spot, which in hindsight is a Terry Funk thing.
What teeter-totter spot?
Where he's like over the ropes and hitting and coming back up and hitting him down, and he's popping back up again. You don't remember that? It's a Terry Funk thing, apparently. Joe walks away from Punk coming over the top rope to the floor, as Joe does, and then a running boot to Punk while he's seated in a chair looked pretty good. Joe gets run into the post, but he catches a Punk Hurricane Rana attempt and swings him through the front of the announce table.
Oh, I love that! And then he flips him off,
and then just gives him the finger. And Punk basically disappears into the table, right?
I was like, I think I put that in my story, and I was like, wouldn't we all love to be Samoa Joe here? I would love to be. I just like the difference
of not going through the top of the table, right? Like through the front looked cool.
Yeah, I liked it. I think it accidentally broke a little in another match. I don't remember, but yes, I think it's like things just like the cardboard kind of or whatever it is, right?
Plywood probably.
Yeah, and it's just like I thought it looked really cool though.
Me too.
I thought him flipping him off was really funny.
Me too.
As such a
because Joe just oozes attitude, right? Like
he doesn't care. I love Joe.
Yeah, if he does not care, if that's his character, he sells it.
Joe deserves more. I would bring him on Dynamite more.
Yeah.
I think once we get a babyface champion in the mix, I think, oh my God, we need Samoa Joe versus Cassidy.
Yeah,
that would be perfect.
It would be.
I don't want Joe to win that title. I just want him to beat the crap out of Cassidy because they would work so well.
Similar to what he did with Darby, right? A couple of those matches were awesome.
They need to. Oh my God, they need to do Joe versus Cassidy, and then he can drop it to Swerve.
So Punk emerges from the table bloody now. We get a boot and a senton to Punk for 2.
That's why Punk's wearing white.
He escapes a muscle buster and lands a roundhouse kick to Joe's head. Punk then starts to do the 5 moves of doom, right?
Yeah, that was weird.
And then he switches and does the Hogan hand to his ear.
No way he's that self-aware.
And the leg drop for a 2 count. Joe then hulks up, right? And a scoop power slam. So it was like Hulk Hogan turned into Randy Orton kind of thing. A power bomb and the STF by Joe. Another roundhouse and then an homage to Funk. We get the spinning toe hold here from Punk.
Isn't that like it's almost a figure 4, right?
Yeah, it's the first part of it before you like sit down and cross it over. We get an ST Joe, as they call it. The one that he does in the corner, I assume, right? But then we get Pepsi Plunge, and Punk wins.
Because, as we've seen, he ain't getting him up for a GTS.
No. So, we don't like Punk, but I really thought this was a good match.
I thought it was pretty good. I think it was a lot better than the last pay-per-view Punk match because I thought him and Kojima was lame, and I didn't like it even besides my Punk bias. I just thought it was boring, but I thought this was pretty good.
I did too. I'm good physical match.
I thought I really enjoyed Joe here, obviously, but I thought Punk was solid.
He was, and I kind of suspected if Punk couldn't main event, he'd want to be in the opener, right? I always say like that's kind of the number 2 spot for me.
Yeah.
The result was never in doubt. Punk's not losing this championship for a while.
I don't know if I would have put in the opener because I would have put like I don't know, like maybe the multi-man tag or something, just like for something hot. But I thought it was a solid opener though. Bias aside,
wasn't the freshest matchup because they'd faced each other recently, right?
And like decades ago.
And Joe did dominate a good portion of this. They know each other really well, and it shows, right? I don't know why all the references to the WWE legends in there. That seemed like an interesting choice to me. But the nod to Terry Funk was
there's
nice.
No way Punk is self-aware enough to
be like Hogan
to do Hogan things,
right?
Because I don't think he might be like aware enough to know that people say that, but I don't think he's self-aware to think he's that.
Right.
And if he did think that, I don't think he would put it on TV because there's a lot of negative connotations with being Hogan in the way that we're saying it, right?
Yep.
Like the way he thinks of himself, I don't think he would want to be associated with that kind of Hogan, if that makes sense.
Right.
Because
but he would want to troll the crowd into saying
that's true.
Do you know what I mean?
So he might do it. I don't know. He's an interesting fella.
So what I thought I would do too is because our friend John over at the John Report, he compiled all of Meltzer, or he listed all of Meltzer's star ratings for this. So maybe we can compare what we thought about it. So I thought, and I also really liked the announce table spot. I thought it was memorable.
I really liked that. That was my favorite part.
Before I knew Meltzer had his ratings, I kind of did my own, and I gave it a 3.5 stars.
I would go 3.5. That's fair. Yep.
And Meltzer gave it CM Punk defeated Samoa Joe 3.5 stars.
I would agree with that. That's fair.
All right.
I might go a little lower, but I would say that's fair. I'll go 3.5.
And then we get Bullet Club Gold and Takeshita taking on the Golden Elite, basically, right?
Gold, baby.
And we get Callis joining commentary for this.
Iron, gold sharpens gold.
That's right. Juice and Hangman start out. We get a high boot that takes down Juice. Omega tags in. Page and Omega chop Juice a whole bunch of times. Ibushi's in.
Yeah, I think that's a callback to their tag run. I'm pretty sure they did that. I didn't pick that up the first time, but then because I saw the clip, obviously because we didn't watch it live because I was absent.
Right.
But the first time I saw the clip, I didn't pick up on it. But then I don't know. I think when we were watching the match, actually, I think it clicked in my head that was from their run, because I swear they did that kind of thing a lot when they were tagging, which that takes me back.
Ibushi comes in. Juice Robinson tags out to Jay White. White's forearms have no effect on Ibushi, and Ibushi takes him down with one stiff kick. Omega and Ibushi double team White until Takeshita gets tagged in. Omega goes over the top onto White and Takeshita. The guns kind of slow down Omega, and it allows Jay White to avoid a top rope attack. Omega tweaks his leg on the landing, and Bullet Club Gold start to attack that leg with stomps. Ibushi and Takeshita exchange as Omega is down, and I put "and legal." I think this is where we start to lose who is the legal man a little bit. As
JR's loving it.
JR moans. That's my next note. JR moans about not knowing who is legal.
Of course he does.
Takeshita flattens Omega with a forearm. His forearms are nuts when he really decides to throw a forearm.
Takeshita can throw one of the best forearms in the business. I don't care.
And so that sort of ended an Omega flurry there. Takeshita hits that diving clothesline we like before tagging White back in. White works Omega's right leg before tagging Juice to do the same, including a suplex into the ropes. So a lot of Omega being sort of in peril here, which was a little bit surprising because it's Kenny Omega.
Interesting, yeah.
Hard strikes, leaping senton by Juice, but Omega kicks out. Omega finally escapes, but the guns pull the other two off the apron, and then Hangman finally is legal after Ibushi takes out Colton. We get the fall-away slam, leap over the top, clothesline, multiple dives, and top rope clothesline by Hangman as the pace starts to pick up. Blind tag to Ibushi. He unleashes kicks on White before a standing moonsault for a near fall. Omega and Ibushi tandem moonsault to the outside, but Ibushi slipped a little bit on his, right? So the timing was affected. He was a bit late there. White gets triple teamed, German from Hangman, half and half from Ibushi. Kamigoya gets countered into the big sort of twisting Jay White Uranagi he hits that looks pretty good.
I really like his Uranagi.
It looks nice. It looks like he's trying to drive you through the mat, right? Like he's not just guiding you down.
It's a spinning solo, actually.
Correct. Takeshita and Omega are in strike exchange, crushing high knee from Omega. Dragon suplexes to White and Juice Robinson. Takeshita counters into his Blue Thunder Bomb that they tell us he inherited from El Generico, which was, I thought,
don't think so.
An interesting nugget there. Knees to the back of Takeshita's head, followed by a Poison Rana for 2. Tandem offense from the Elite lead to a moonsault crossbody to Takeshita off the top from Page, which Excalibur called a blockbuster. Like, I made a note of that.
What do you call it?
It was,
what was it?
It was Page's, like, flipping moonsault.
Oh, the moonsault follow-away slam. Yeah, that
called it a
was
blockbuster.
Weird. That offended me a little.
Really? Everyone starts hitting stuff, and there's no way I can keep up. That's what my notes say. And it ends with Takahashi fighting off the
Takeshita, sir.
Sorry, Takeshita. I just put TAK, so I auto-completed.
Takahashi.
Fighting off the golden trigger. Kamigoya countered with a sick jumping knee by Takeshita. Blindside buckshot to Takeshita. Omega knees to White and Juice before a V-trigger to White. Looked really nice. Takeshita comes out of nowhere, rolls up Omega for the win after almost 21 minutes.
That was surprising, but I think it works really well given the story.
I do too. I was really happy for Takeshita because we love Takeshita in this little studio.
I mean, technically, that's the biggest win of his career.
It is.
If you want to go that
I thought it was slow to start, but then it built because it got a bunch of time. And by the end
I looked at the times because I was looking at the main event. I thought, it was longer than I thought it was. But it was good.
I thought so. Ended up being entertaining, right? In the first half, I thought Hangman and Takeshita stood out to me. And then everybody started to get involved, right? The ref lost control, as tends to happen. Things broke down. A lot more fun, as far as I'm concerned, the last half of this. And it makes sense to have the Elite lose here and give a big moment to Takeshita, who they promised they were going to build, right? So there's no need that they can't take a loss here.
That's right. 2 promises this year. The return of Pete Dunne and the rise of Takeshita. One of those is coming to fruition.
So far, so good. We're 50-50 right now. Well, I mean, maybe more than that, because we got almost all of Pete Dunne this week.
I don't even want to. We're not there
We'll
get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
So,
I like this, though. I thought it was...
Too.
It was pretty much what I wanted from this. I thought I would like some more manic action from this, just because that's what I like to see when these break down. But I thought this was really good, though, because I think it's a fantastic mix of talent. I love everyone here. Always been a fan of Switchblade. I think Juice Robinson I've really come around on since they signed him.
He's so fun.
I really like him. And I love Takeshita. I love Takeshita since day one. He's fantastic. We love Takeshita. I really like Ibushi from what I've seen of him. I haven't seen him in a long time, though, other than AEW.
He's not peak Ibushi.
He's not peak Ibushi.
He is not. I can tell you that.
I'm hoping
not
that
trying
we
to be
get
mean.
there.
Yes.
I'm hoping that we get there. I'll give him some time, though. I'm not gonna.
Of course.
He's still using it, so I'm willing to forgive there. And obviously, Hangman's my boy, and Omega's undeniable. So I think it's a really great mix of talent here, and I really liked it.
Me too.
I like the different dynamics here too, because Omega's got history with Switchblade.
Yes.
Switchblade has history with Ibushi as well.
Yes.
I think what Juice Robinson might have, I don't know, and then obviously Takeshita's in there, and I like all the different dynamics there, and I thought it was really nice, and I think the finish works well too. I think Takeshita capitalizing on just the frenzy and taking it for the win from Omega, I really like, and that kind of gives him the quote unquote momentum. Love to say that. Heading into All Out tomorrow.
Because if you don't have a belt, you may as well have momentum. It's the next best thing you can have.
One or the other.
Yeah, I
Except
thought
momentum won't protect you in a parking lot.
I thought not an absolute show stealer as it could have been, but a really good match.
Yeah.
Right?
It fell a little short on potential, but not a bad match by any means.
So I gave it 3 3/4 stars.
3 3/4. Yep, I would agree with that. I liked it better than the opener, so I think that would track.
Meltzer liked it a lot better than us.
Really?
4.5.
Really, I don't think I'd go that strong.
I can't either. If you said 4, I wouldn't argue.
Again, I like everyone here, but I don't think I can go that strong. Yeah, 4 is different because that's like only another quarter.
Yep. All right. So then we move into the AEW Tag Team Championship match. It is FTR defending against the Young Bucks. Not really any build to this other than let's run it back kind of thing.
It's really simple. It's more like just the tiebreaker to.
It's the rubber
who's
match.
the best series,
So it's Dax and Nick in early with holds and counters, and then the Bucks get control of Cash until he catches Matt and slams him. Get an assisted leg drop by FTR for 2. One of each team hits Hurricane Rana to the other, and then they pair off and brawl before clotheslines take everybody down. Some synchronized offense by the Bucks, and FTR is sent to the floor. Boot by Nick on the apron, spear by Matt on the floor. Fosbury flop onto both FTRs at this point. We get a first super kick, and it is a nice one to Cash. We get a stretched out senton to Cash. And I'm noticing at this point, this is not the most energetic crowd. And it's hard because open air sometimes or even if you have 20,000 people cheering, there's still another 60,000, that it might not be.
I'm not going to completely chalk it up to
the crowd overall was good.
I think overall, considering how big it is, right? I think you have to take that into effect.
It didn't feel like a rabid crowd like sometimes we get, right?
Mm-hmm. But I think it is more difficult there.
All the sounds setting. Just shooting right out the top.
Yeah, I feel like a similar thing can be said for WrestleMania too, so I don't think it's entirely on AEW.
It's not. The Bucks continue to isolate Cash while cutting off the ring. We get a back suplex to Mac. Cash dives to tag Dax, but Matt super kicks Dax off the apron at the last second. I thought the timing of that was pretty good. What does that mean? Miscommunication on a demi-girl.
What?
Oh, Dom Aguirre. I think it auto-corrected
it. No, I got that. That makes sense. Okay.
And Cash hits an anti-air uppercut to Nick. Hot tag to Dax. He's on fire with strike, snap, suplexes. Multiple Germans, immediately followed by Matt's locomotion suplex. Back to a Dax German, back to a Northern Lights. Dax catches Nick, hits a slingshot powerbomb. Stereo sharpshooters to the Bucks. Cash gets pushed into the steps. We get a facebuster to Dax to break his sharpshooter. We get a Nick moonsault to the floor. Bucks go for the powerplex, but knees up for them, and then Cash right after. I don't think I summarized that very well. Bucks go for the powerplex, but knees up for them, and then Cash right after. Anyways, doesn't matter. Spike piledriver to Nick for 2. JR complains about FTR's pinning technique. JR was irritating me a little bit, as you may notice.
I'm sure you loved him on like a 5-hour show.
Shatter Machine escaped by the Bucks. Dax knocks Cash to the floor, takes several super kicks while Cash is out there. Spike piledriver to Dax for a near fall. Dax really good at last second kickouts. He had a few here that it was like nanoseconds away. Meltzer drive is broken up. Dax piledriver attempt stopped by a super kick. Nick dives onto Cash on the floor. Dax ducks the BTE trigger, and Cash spears Nick at a million miles an hour, right? Just how fast and explosive Cash is.
I forgot about that because I think it was like in the start of their babyface run or whatever. FTR, Cash would like do that sometimes.
Yes.
I forgot he is crazy fast.
I'm pretty sure he can do any style he wants, and he just chooses this is their thing. Like,
because they also did the springboard for 50 here, which I loved that because that's the callback to the first match. And honestly, because I do mention sometimes that might be one of my favorite finishes to any match, just because like I love the idea of it because of FTR's the philosophy they've always had, right? Back to the days of the Revival. And I remember this ever since I heard, no flips,
no
just
high
fist.
Risk.
But then he did it just to like mock the Bucks or whatever, and that's why they lost. So that'll always be one of my favorite finishes ever, I think. So that's a callback I really appreciate.
And your timing's great because my notes are
is it there?
BTE
I was waiting for you to mention it.
And a Shatter Machine by FTR, but Matt kicks out on a really good near fall. Then Cash misses a 450, as you said. Matt lands a super kick for a nice near fall and a callback there.
Yeah,
that
was a really awesome near fall. Just again, the callback, I love it.
BTE trigger to Cash, but he kicks out, or Dax made the save. Commentary don't know either because I think it was Dax was going to make the save and Cash panicked and thought he wasn't going to get there, right? So he kind of kicked out. Shatter Machine to Dax as we're now stealing finishers. BTE trigger to Cash, but he kicks out of that. And a quote, you know how I sometimes don't even notice commentary? Excalibur said, "A beard made of granite."
That was funny.
He kicked out. I love that. Meltzer driver is stopped. Shatter Machine to Nick Jackson, and it's over after almost 22 minutes. FTR retain. They want to shake hands with the Bucks afterwards. The Bucks do not oblige. Excellent match. My favorite match on the show to this point.
Very nice.
I don't think the crowd energy matched the action at some point, but they got into it towards the end. I really liked each team using the other's offense because they know each other so well.
I think that happened in one of the other matches too, so I think that might have kind of been callback-esque.
And like you said, the callbacks are cool too, right? I don't pick up on all of them, but I do pick up on the 450. I remember I love that
because I love that finish so much.
And if you're a fan who hates people kicking out of numerous finishers and stuff, then this isn't for you.
Then go home.
But I find that style exciting. It doesn't have to be every match, but I've got all kinds of time for that mixed in with other things. So I thought this match was in my top 3 on the show.
I really liked it.
This combination's not going to ever give me less than 4 stars, I don't feel
No, I would say like 4 and a quarter.
So maybe. I said 4 and a quarter.
I would go that, yeah. I think I I don't know. I feel a little bad because I really liked it, but I feel like it fell a little short of my expectations, and then that might be on me. But it just like it didn't feel like the masterful epic I was imagining.
And even at 4.25 stars, this combination is capable of 5.
Exactly.
Right?
So
I see what you're saying.
I think it was really strong, but I think they were capable of another gear. I think if they had another 10 minutes or so.
Yeah. So Meltzer liked it more than us. 4.75. That's aggressive.
I don't know. Because that's like.
Is he a Bucks mark or something? Possibly.
Meltzer driver.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, I don't know.
That probably doesn't hurt. Yeah.
Because that's really close. I don't know. Like I think the best comparison is my expectations for Omega Ospreay and that delivering on every front and then some, and then this like falling a little short. But I mean, by no means a bad match. Still really good, and yeah, I would say my top 3 of the show probably. But just like I don't know, I
top
just
3 on a strong show too.
And generally, I just felt like a little disappointment, and that might be partially on me, but I don't know.
Yep,
I still really liked it though.
Next, we get the best friends, Orange Cassidy, Eddie Kingston, and Penta, taking on Blackpool Combat Club and
Proud and Powerful, baby.
Ortiz and Mike Santana.
That annoyed me. I didn't like it.
They are going out of their way, right?
I don't know. Because Ortiz doesn't get a first name, and I just like them as Santana and Ortiz. I don't need Mike Santana. I don't know. But anyways, they look really cool to see them back together.
Stadium Stampede, and I'll say it right now. It didn't really, and I'm not criticizing too much. Didn't feel much like a Stadium Stampede.
No, because
certain people were just gone forever.
Yeah,
doing stuff that didn't really focus on anything.
In their defense, if they went crowd brawling in Wembley, they would get lost.
Right.
So, to a degree, I didn't love that. Like, I think it was Claudio and someone were just away backstage, but I think the action was really good.
But the original one was pandemic, right?
Original one was pandemic.
So you don't have a crowd to worry about getting bored and mad that you're not in front of them.
No,
so
that's what made this first Stadium Stampede amazing.
Yes.
I think Anarchy in the Arena did the crowd thing better to like a minimum, but I still think this is really good. But yeah, this first
I'm not saying I didn't like this match.
The first Stadium Stampede is always going to stand out.
It didn't feel like they weren't all over the place, you know what I mean? And that's just, they're limited by
although they were on the stage and whatnot, so at least there was that, because I feel like I don't think I'd want to go brawling in Wembley too, because if then, like, say you have to be back at the ring at a certain time, like, how's that going to work?
Right. So we get brawling to start. Trent moonsaults to the floor, but right into a garbage can, basically.
That was cool.
Mox has a branding iron early, another funk homage, I thought, probably. Penta with the chair to Santana and Ortiz, and sling blades to both. Split screen starts as they start to head through the stadium, and I was anticipating a lot of this, but there really wasn't much of it. Mox paradigm shift to Penta early. And Mox, this was a bit crazy, right? He goes and gets skewers from a bag. And of
course he does.
And of course, because he introduced the skewers, he's the one taking the skewers.
And he's just like, Mox's face when he takes it, he's such a mad lad sometimes.
So Penta with the chair to Mox, and then he takes the skewers and
he just like hammers it in his face.
Mox's head, and like some of them stay sticking out of the man's head.
It's an insane visual.
And Penta also hits a Made in Japan here for a 2 count. Santana powerbomb to Penta onto a chair. Santana pile drives Penta onto a chair. Orange Cassidy is now doing lazy as all this chaos is ensuing, right? So
Orange Cassidy's still
Orange
Cassidy.
So Moxley, of course, has a fork to the back of Orange Cassidy's head and then stabs him repeatedly. We get a really nice brainbuster by Mox to Orange Cassidy onto a chair. Chuck, who's gone for a chunk of this, gets suplexed on a guardrail somewhere. Yuta, Claudio, Eddie, and Chuck are in the stadium. The rest are in the ring, in a kind of around the ring at this point. Yuta gets suplexed on a bar by Eddie. Eddie fights some security guards. Moxley trips Trent off the ropes onto a ladder really hard. Trent gets powerbombed onto a ladder into the corner by Santana and Ortiz. Trent he takes a beating for a stretch here. He gets X-plexed onto a barbed wire board by Moxley.
That was sweet.
We get a no-arm splash, the one that Ortiz does.
Yeah, and he did it from the top, right?
Hard
that
on
was
Trent.
Awesome.
Just looked like straight awesome. Dead weight landing on him.
I love that's what I miss them, man. I miss that.
And this is where I noticed no sign of all the other guys for quite a while. Almost all of the focus is on the guys in the ring here.
Mm-hmm.
Mox pile drives Trent on the steps. Poor Trent, man. Orange Cassidy gets forked by Ortiz.
Gets forked.
We're using it as a verb now.
That. Was there no Mad Ball here? The Mad Ball.
I don't think
too.
so.
That's such a good name, though. I love the Mad Ball.
Other Blackpool guys are back now and at the top of the ramp. The crowd wants a table, so Ortiz gets one out. A white van drives up. That Sue got a much nicer van.
That sounds so weird when you just say a white van drives.
The crowd chants Sue. Mox kisses Sue and Trent snaps.
That's so weird.
Sue hands Trent a tray of cookies, and of course he uses it to hit people with. The music hits, and Penta Oscuro shows up.
That was weird.
Strange.
Did he change? He changed gears, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember. What was he wearing at the beginning? He was wearing black and white at one point, and then
I don't know what he came back in. But was there something that happened? Like
theme played.
I don't know. Anyway,
why?
Why did he?
I don't understand.
Anyways, a ladder breaks right with Santana and Penta setting up for something. I think it was on the stage, and they take to it, and it's a sunset flip bomb through tables for Santana.
That was pretty gnarly.
He was. Best friends beat down Yuta until Ortiz shows up with cookie sheet shots. Chuck escapes a seatbelt. Yuta gets out a screwdriver. It gets stuck in the turnbuckle, and Chuck hits an awful waffle for 2, which
waffles are really cool.
I enjoy the awful waffle a lot.
What? It's like doesn't Brody King do a move like that? Not the Gonzo bomb.
No, but yeah, something similar.
Or is it the Gonzo bomb?
It's not exactly.
Is Gonzo bomb Gonzo bomb's like the front kind of, or is that the sit out tombstone? I don't know. I think it's like the Gonzo bomb, except from the corner.
It looks good.
It's really cool, yeah.
Claudio swings Cassidy. Ortiz falls, regroups, and gets superplexed on the floor through a table by Trent. 3 orange punches to Claudio for a near fall. Orange Cassidy duct taped his hand sticky side out, sticks his fist in a bucket of glass. Mox blindside him, and the glass gets dumped all over, obviously. Orange Cassidy counters Moxley into a DDT on the glass, but then gets caught with a pop-up forearm. Kenny finally returns. I don't know where he was.
Who?
Or sorry, who do I mean?
Claudio?
No, Chuck? Maybe? No.
No.
Kenny. Who would I think Kenny is? Somebody was gone for a long time, and it wasn't Kenny. But they're back, whoever it was.
Okay.
Chair shots to Claudio. Hurricane. Oh, Eddie.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Eddie.
Yeah.
So we get a Hurricane to Mox and Claudio. Mox gets speared through the table. Orange Cassidy with a glassy orange punch.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He put his hand in the glass.
Typo, yeah. But yeah, it is literally glassy.
That's right.
All right. I'm smart. To Claudio, and it's over after 21 minutes. As absolute car crash, as you would expect, right? By far the worst use of surroundings in one of these matches, as we talked about. Like the ring was 90% of this. And again, maybe it's
understandably
live.
So.
I agree. And I don't think it was bad anyways. Crazy spots. Trent just took an absolute beating. A few slips along the way, which you would expect when they're doing what they're doing here. I felt like Eddie was barely in this match, right? I thought that was a strange choice.
The only thing I really remember from him was him and Mox going through the barbed wire board towards the end, I believe.
Trent really stood out in this, man. He is such a valuable competitor.
He's really good. Yeah.
It's strange to think of best friends in matches like this because it's kind of counterintuitive, but they excel.
They do, because they did this. They've done parking lot brawls. Yeah. I think I feel like they were in another one of these too. I don't remember, but I feel like they were. I don't know. I feel like they've done another one of these kind of big ones before. I don't know, but they are really good in these. I think they deserve more credit for those.
A bloody violent mess, and I thought it was good. I like the best friends getting a win. Right? It's kind of like, again, in a match with this many people and whatever, the win or loss, it doesn't matter a ton. So give this group who are so valuable but rarely win, give them a big win.
I think it's maybe because their characters are so not like this. So I think it's interesting to see them when they are in this. Right?
And I don't know what the Penta deal was.
That was
really
kind of
connect
weird
with me or the crowd. I didn't
get it. And also just how they did Penta Oscuro before. I think I'd rather save
that. And then it died. And then it's back.
I think, why don't we save Penta Oscuro for when he turns heel?
Right.
You know? Then we can do manic Penta Oscuro, and that's fine.
So I really like this. I gave it 4 stars. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'd agree with 4 stars. I really liked it too. I thought the spots went crazy a lot of times. It was nice to see Santana Ortiz back in the mix. I thought they did some really cool stuff. The ladder not cooperating kind of sucked, but I think the table spot eventually worked out anyways. The skewers were nuts. People were getting forked. The glass was really cool. All the stuff with the barbed wire board was nice, and I'm glad best friends and them got a win. I think that's kind of cool for them.
And I kind of like the idea that because Orange Cassidy's fist, he's been selling that hurt hand forever. He needed to power it up with glass, almost to
I thought that was kind of cool
to sort of counteract his weakness. So Meltzer liked it more than we did as well. 4.5 stars. He was
pretty
in a good
wild
mood.
match,
I don't know if he was drinking or something during this one.
I think it delivered though. I think it delivered pretty well. Other than obviously didn't it wasn't incredibly widespread, but I feel like despite the size of the venue, I think that almost kind of works against you.
Yeah.
You know?
I agree. Then we get what do we have here? The AEW Women's Championship match, 4-way match between Shida.
Not gonna lie, no offense to the women, but this is the match I didn't really want to see.
Shida, Storm, Saraya, and Britt Baker.
Getting spoiled did not help.
Oh, you got spoiled on this.
I got spoiled before we saw it, so that made me want to watch it less, understandably so.
Right. I figured this was going to happen because this was the spot that I'm pretty positive Hayter's supposed to be in. This was supposed to be her big win. Because she is also from that area.
Yeah, because, okay, it's funny you say that because they did a shop AEW exclusive for All In with, like, UK packaging, and guess who it was?
Yeah.
Jamie Hayter.
Because of the way
I'll try to find it for you.
The way Saraya's been booked, I feel like the only reason, spoiler, she wins here is because they wanted to do that for the fans.
And I think, actually, that's a video.
Right, so anyways.
But I think that makes sense because I thought it was really weird that they went all in with, like, she kind of did, like, the whole babyface, like, all the appearances thing. It felt really babyface, like, right. And it did feel weird. I thought, even though, like, I understood that they were giving her the win because she's from there, but I found her whole title win and the way they went about, like, it was really jarring. So to think that it's supposed to be Hayter makes so much more sense to me because she would have had her title run through the months, like, because she vacated, like, I would have been sometime before she lost.
Maybe they would have her lose, but then to win it back.
Yeah, she lost it in the spring, so she would have, but I just think Hayter, like, either winning it back here or defending it here would have made so much more sense.
Agree.
Oh, that makes me more mad that she got injured because now I have to suffer through 2 Outcast title runs, and it's all her fault for being selfish and getting injured.
Yep. Shida gets sent to the floor early so the Outcast can double team Baker, including a nice hip attack from Storm.
I thought Baker's ring gear was kind of weird.
Oh, it had like it
was the weird pants with like the holes, but they were like kind of like, I don't know, it was weird. She wore it on Dynamite too, and I thought it was weird still.
Saraya and Storm both want to pin Baker, so this is part of the story here, right? Shida shows up to separate them by the hair. Shida stacks the heels up in the corner and a high knee and a suplex to Saraya onto Storm. Baker sling blade to Storm, but the super kick by Saraya. Saraya's mom is holding on to Baker at ringside, and Baker moves, and Toni Storm hits Saraya's mom pretty hard. Saraya's mom used to wrestle, right? So she could take
when she was pregnant.
Right. So
or was that? No, that was her.
So that's going to play in the story with the issues with
I thought Saraya doing her angry face looked really bad. Like, it just looked really... Like, she was trying to do, like, an angry face. Like, she was, like, angry or disgusted at Toni Storm. And her angry face was really ugly. I just thought it looked really stupid.
Nice. Saraya yells at Storm in the ring for hitting her mom, and then they start to strike each other. Storm with mounted strikes to Saraya before removing a turnbuckle pad. Soho shows up to have to save Saraya from a hip attack.
Hip attacker in the corner with the exposed. I think she should have done it because then maybe Saraya wouldn't have won.
Cool idea.
I selfishly wish she did.
Storm forearm Soho, so the Outcasts are imploding before our eyes. Fine by me.
They're teaming on Collision tonight though, so we might have to watch.
Ooh, super kick by Saraya. Baker super kicks Storm onto Saraya for a near fall. Saraya's going for that cool submission that we watched on Arrival.
Which
if you haven't seen, you should go watch our review.
Scorpion crosslock or something like that.
Yeah. Baker comes out of nowhere
with video
to land a nice stomp to Storm. I thought that looked really good. Shida Falcon Arrow to Baker onto Saraya. Meteora by Shida to Saraya for a near fall. Katana by Shida, but Baker breaks up the pin and puts Shida in the lockjaw. Saraya with paint to Storm's eyes. Rampage, and Saraya wins less than 9 minutes.
Really? That's weird.
So everything's been like 20, 21, 20, and then the women, as per AEW, get less than half of that.
Yeah.
I thought there was some...
To be fair, I don't think the build to this match was amazing.
I thought it had some decent action, and it told the story of the end of the Outcast. Hopefully, we'll see, I guess. But this felt a bit rushed, and the finish seemed a bit sudden to me.
Yeah, something about this match felt off. I thought the Outcast ascension was kind of random just because she hit her mom by accident.
Yeah.
And also, I don't care because I don't like them.
Yeah.
So that's a factor. And then I agree the finish was sudden. The result is the least desirable one out of the 4.
Annoyed by Shida being basically transitional champion.
Yeah, that really bugs me because I was happy for her.
Me too.
And yeah, I felt like she's just transitioning the title from one Outcast to another. I don't think, like, I thought the action was solid, but I don't think there's anything incredibly notable here. Like, it just, what will be such a memorable show, and with a bunch of memorable matches, I feel like this one will not be one of them.
Yep, I was I agree. I gave it 3 stars. We'll talk about what Meltzer gave it in a
2
minute.
3/4.
Okay. I was hoping that they'd realize the mistake they'd made in signing Saraya, right? And we're kind of moving her to the back burner because that's what it felt like on TV.
That's what it has felt like, yes.
But apparently the plan was the opposite, and maybe it's because it's contingency for Hayter being hurt. But I guess, yeah,
Where's
this was
Storm from? Is she Australian?
I believe so, yes.
Damn it.
This was the reward for the home crowd, right? But do I really care? No.
But to that degree, I say Osprey got a win. So
Yeah.
there's your hometown win. I don't think it needed to be Saraya too.
No. And again, everyone got to do a little bit here, but no one got to do a ton. So just compare opener 14 minutes, and then every match up until this one after that has been over 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And so now this championship match, it's hard to not see that as a bit disrespectful and a bit of a slight, right, to the division. Seems to be the norms. Yep, 3 stars. Meltzer gave it 2 3/4 stars. He agrees with you.
Hey.
Nice. So next, we move into a tag team match. Sting and Darby Allin taking on Christian Cage and Swerve. So
Swerve, he had the live entrance. He did it first,
Yeah.
and arguably better than Jericho.
I don't even know if that's arguable, but anyways.
I will, because I was saying they should have took out the actual vocals from the song so that it would have sounded better for Flash Garments, I think his name. I don't know why I know that. But
I thought it sounded pretty good.
I did like it. Yeah, I thought it was good. And Nana, of course, he's there.
Nana's your boy.
Dancing along.
Away.
I love it. Never gets old.
I don't know if you noticed Sting, but apparently he answered using his final WCW theme.
I did notice it was a different theme, so I figured it was a callback to something. I just didn't really care to figure out what it was.
Yeah. My notes kind of taper off in this. This was a long show. So Christian taped Darby Allin's hands behind his back pretty early on in this.
He was like tying it or whatever. Like, I think it was a tie, like not a zip tie, but something like that.
Was it?
I think. I don't know.
Darby ends up hitting some offense anyways, including a dive to the floor, as he does.
He did like a springboard moonsault too, which I thought was cool.
Yeah. Sting jumped off the apron to jump onto Swerve's back, but the table didn't break, right? So then he went up and sort of went through like a almost senton, using his butt kind of to go through Swerve and the table.
Old.
So a little more satisfying the second time. We get a Darby Allin missile drop kick to Christian, who's sitting in a chair on the floor. Looked pretty good. Nick Wayne gets involved. He hits Luchasaurus with a skateboard to the back, but Luchasaurus just immediately headbutts him, and then he gives Wayne a chokeslam onto the skateboard.
Awesome. I was hoping it would break, but gimmicking skateboards to break isn't always a good idea.
No, because sometimes they break as you're swinging
prematurely,
them. Jade. Swerve moves, and Allin coffin drops from like the ropes onto the coffin on the floor. It looked pretty crazy.
Looked pretty gnarly.
Landed perfectly.
He died.
As you would expect, Sting is no-selling some chair shots a little bit.
As one does.
At 62 years old. The coffin ends up in the ring, and Swerve ends up missing a 450 and landing on the coffin as Sting gets out of the way. That looked
pretty cool. I was hoping it would look a little better, but I still thought it looked really cool.
We get Allin with a belt shot to Christian, a death drop to Swerve, and he's placed in the coffin, but his hand is still sticking out. So we get a coffin drop from Darby Allin, and that slams the door shut all the way. Although we would argue, heel Swerve should be suggesting he did not lose because there were a couple bits of his hair,
which is a part of him. And if Sting can break it with a baseball bat, he can break it with hair.
If a bat sticking out counts, and it's not part of Sting's body, hair sticking out.
I would contend that Swerve
that would be my argument.
Christian did not rightfully lose this.
Right. I thought that this was a good match on a show with several better matches.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I don't think it was like under delivering or like disappointing or anything, considering it's a Sting match, which I'm not a fan of. I thought it was one of my preferred Sting matches, and I thought it was pretty good, all things considered. But like you said, a lot of better ones are elsewhere here. Yeah,
so I there was cool spots involving the coffin. Sting matches are a little anticlimactic, right? Because he is now 18-0 in AEW. So
yeah.
It's a vehicle for Sting to get another win.
I saw someone say it's pretty crazy that this is the biggest show he's been on, and he's like 60-something now.
Right. What would your star rating be before we talk Meltzer?
Like 3.25. I liked it better. I'll be nice and give it 3.5.
I was debating between 3.25 and 3.5 as well.
I'll be nice.
What did he give it? 4.25. Meltzer's in a good mood.
What is up with Meltzer?
Loving this show. So yeah, I could go 3.5 as well on that one. Then we get the match that we weren't super looking forward to, but I was curious.
Oh, what was it? I don't remember.
Obviously, everybody wanted Ospreay Omega. We're not getting it. So we get Jericho Ospreay instead.
My biggest disappointment of my 16-year life.
So my first point, so Jericho can't actually sing. His theme sounded like bad karaoke. Really bad. Anyway.
That's exactly what it was. It's so bad. I think sometimes it sounds okay. Like, I think the song itself, when they record it, sounds like good enough. You know what I mean?
Because they can run it through a million filters.
But like, I think
I could make you sound like that.
I think singing live, he's been okay, but I think multitasking, singing, and doing something else,
walking
was
to the ring,
too complicated for him. I feel like he should
walk to the ring.
I think he should have picked one or the other. But yeah, it was.
So my notes continue to taper off, but that's fine because this is getting lengthy. We get a rough high angle German to Ospreay on the apron.
That was really cool though, rough in like a good way.
Yes, Ospreay with an atomic drop, chop to the chest, and a standing shooting star press, all perfect, of course. Another Ospreay shooting star to a dangling Jericho as he's kind of hanging over the ropes. Backstabber, then a code breaker by Jericho. Judas effect is blocked, and we get an Os cutter for Jericho instead.
Os cutter.
At one point, Callis distracts the ref. Sammy hits Ospreay with a baseball bat, which I think Jericho on Dynamite is like, you could have hit him harder, right? Something. We get a Stormbreaker.
Do you like a Sam Callahan kind of thing? You could have done that.
Yeah. Stormbreaker countered into a Hurricane Rana. We get a Spanish fly by Ospreay, and then Jericho hits his own Os cutter. Not the cleanest, but not bad for a man of his age.
It looked weird, remember? Because we were kind of confused.
Judas effect for 2, Stormbreaker for 2, Hidden Blade, another Stormbreaker, and Ospreay wins after just under 15 minutes. And then Jericho in the ring with Sammy afterwards is clearly frustrated with Sammy or in general and kind of walks away. So we said that if this match turned out really well, then it would be a feather in Ospreay's cap, right? And I think that's exactly what we got here.
Yep.
I really liked this.
I liked it.
This was in my top 3 matches on this show. That's pretty crazy to say.
Maybe.
I thought it was really good. Good action, good counters. And again, my notes have dwindled greatly from the beginning, so it didn't sound like much. Thought there were some good near falls. I felt like it was about the perfect length. Ospreay is just an absolute complete, I don't want to say generational because that gets used too often, but close to that talent. Jericho still has enough in the tank, right, to put on a strong match when he really, really needs to. So I really got into this match. And for a while I forgot I wasn't getting Omega Ospreay 3. I was getting a really good match with one of the best wrestlers in the world at the peak of his powers and a talented veteran, right? So I really like this match. How about you?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I think Ospreay definitely delivered as we would hope. And I thought Jericho was pretty good too. It's one of his better matches in recent memory, for sure.
Yeah.
I thought some of the near falls were good because I feel like this is one of the ones where it could have gone either way on the show.
Right.
So I think that kind of helped. But I really like the German on the apron. Ospreay had some sweet stuff too. I liked Ospreay's gear. And I love his theme song, which is unrelated, but I'm just saying.
Yep.
But yeah, I thought it was really good. I'm glad Ospreay got the win because I think that was undoubtedly the right choice, and so that helped save it for me. However, I will never forget they robbed me of what we deserved.
Star rating?
What
did 4. I say? 4 1/4.
I go 4.
Meltzer?
I swear to God.
4 3/4. So not 5, but he loved it. Man loved it.
That's all right.
He loved this show.
Yeah.
It's funny because I really, really like this show.
I really like the show, but I'm still surprised that Meltzer, because Meltzer's usually like the opposite. Like he's a little more critical when he doesn't have to be. You know what I mean?
Best is when we get Nigel in the ring announcing the paid attendance of 81,035.
Pretty crazy.
They also announced it is a new worldwide record for a pro wrestling event.
Suck it, Vince.
Then we get the Trios Championship being defended by
I forgot about this.
House of Black. They're taking on the Acclaimed.
House of White.
With the not retired Billy Gunn.
Yeah.
Because they burned his boots. And so we're getting badass Billy Gunn because that's the most extreme example of him.
No, it's the most nostalgic.
Would you say? Right?
House of Black were wearing white, though. That looked really
They
sweet.
looked awesome.
Other than, I think Buddy Murphy should have had white kick pads instead of black ones, but
I
whatever.
also love the tribute to Bray Wyatt because they had
Murphy's
Buddy was
lantern.
carrying the lantern and then left it
really
at the top. That was really cool.
I love that. I like that.
Early on, a bit surprised, Julia Hart takes the Scissor Me Timbers, right?
That was funny. I saw
that was
someone
interesting.
captioning that with something funny, like Good luck explaining that to someone. It's funny though.
And this is where on the main show, for people that didn't see the pre-show, they show Mercedes Moné sitting in the crowd here. Okay, so clearly she's going to feud with Julia Hart first. And Julia Hart gets a big win.
I thought
to launch her career.
I thought she was going after Murphy, but I guess
a mistake sees Brody King flatten Black, allowing the Acclaim to sort of take control. Julia Hart pulls referee Aubrey Edwards out of the ring. That breaks up a pinfall. Black takes advantage, hits Gunn with the end, formerly the Black Mass, right?
That Black Mass is way better.
But only for a near fall. 2 arrivals, 2 mic drops to Brody King. The Acclaimed win just over 10 minutes as my notes continue to dwindle, but the matches are getting shorter.
I thought the finish, at least they made Brody King look good, taking a lot, but I thought the finish was kind of boring just because it took a while for them to hit it once, kick out, hit it again, then they win. I do appreciate them kind of making Brody King look strong, taking all that, but it just it felt like a slow finish to me.
And I felt like the match was good, but
I thought the match was solid.
Just kind of there. Felt like it could have been on TV.
I feel like
kind of similar in tone to some other matches on the card that I cared more about.
I feel like this could have been on All Out because I feel like it's fine as a pay-per-view match, but I feel like given All In's different, I feel like it could have been on All Out because I feel like All Out is still a pay-per-view, but obviously of smaller stature. Yeah. So I feel like this could have been saved for All Out. In my opinion. I
don't quite get the title change here because it finally felt they were putting some effort into House of Black, even if it was on Collision where I'm not really seeing it. And I know it's the culmination of the Billy Gunn retirement angle, but I didn't really care about that.
Yeah.
So this doesn't move the needle for me at all.
I don't love the choice either. I knew this is where they were going, obviously, because just the build definitely felt like they're building to a title change. I'm not saying that I get it, because I guess other than a thank you for Billy Gunn, I guess.
Yeah.
Gives him one more kind of run. But I didn't get it because I thought House of Black were on a roll. I kind of share your sentiment, but I definitely did expect this at least.
But I still thought it was a good match. It's just relative to everything else or most other things. So I gave it 3.5 stars. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'd go 3.25, maybe 3.5.
Wow.
Something around that.
Meltzer going the other way, 2.5.
Really?
Not a fan.
Interesting. I mean, that's a little surprising given how much he's surprisingly liked the show.
Right.
So Meltzer's all over the place.
He is. Okay, so then we get to the main event, which is MJF defending against his best friend, only friend of his entire life.
Yep.
And I mention that because this is as much story as action almost. And there's lots of both, right? I'm not trying to say that that's a good or bad thing because the crowd's waiting to see who will turn on whom. Could they possibly stay friends throughout this? How will this play out, right? So really cool in that sense that there is a strong story and a strong build to this. So they grab their new T-shirts from under the ring, right, and put them on right at the beginning of this.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting.
And you noticed MJF has Brochacho for life on his elbow pad,
yeah,
right?
I was trying to peep out the elbow pad because he's always got something related that's amusing on there.
So there's an exchange, and maybe apparently the Brochacho for life was a bit of a foreshadow for this match, at least, I guess, right? Kind of.
Why is that?
Because they end up staying friendly.
I guess, yeah.
Exchange of holds in the first minute. Neither man gets an advantage. MJF leads the crowd in a sportsmanship chant, leading to a handshake and then an immediate eye poke, right? Which I thought was funny.
Yeah, that was all funny.
Each man with a hair pull takedown, just showing that, because of the importance of this, they're willing to take shortcuts even against their best friend.
Some more than others.
Right? Yes. And that's what a dynamic I like in this, too. MJF delivered corner punches along with some head biting there. Again, we're taking some shortcuts. MJF does do the suicide dive spot here. Looks pretty good. We get an MJF powerbomb, a Cole anti-air super kick. Cole's super kicks really sharp in this, looking very snug. Cole ends up hitting a heat seeker. MJF gets his foot on the ropes on a nice near fall. Madness, crazy looking brain buster to MJF on the steps.
Oh yeah, that was bananas.
It looked nuts. Nitpick though, MJF barely beats the 10 count. Why would Cole take the chance of winning?
Yeah, that was a little weird.
Little bit of a glitch there. I didn't. And I guess you could chalk it up to storyline, and he feels really horrible about brainbustering him on the, you know what I mean, and he kind of wants him to recover. I guess, but still.
But I don't think that was
not based on what you see Cole do later on.
And in that, I feel like if that was the case, it wasn't communicated enough. Right. So
we get on the announce table. MJF can't follow through with a tombstone or whatever he's going to do, but Cole can. So he hits a tombstone and the table doesn't break, right? So it kind of almost looks more painful. Yeah, because their table
is not built like that, only on the side.
Yeah. Cole with the Canadian Destroyer, MJF with a super kick. Double clothesline is called for and hit, and both men are down. for the count.
Hey, that's 2 for 2 that the double clotheslines won matches.
And the match is declared a draw because neither man can get out. Cole is furious and yelling, "No way!" And
the crowd's actually booing.
We can hear him on just the general mics. He's telling Max to give him 5 more minutes, and MJF, of course, says no. And then there's a pause. Then he says 5 minutes isn't enough. We're going until we've got an effing winner. A winner in effing
Uncensored.
Wembley.
I guess it's pay-per-view. So.
And it was also not a direct mic. It was just picked up on the crowd mics. Or
no,
whatever.
He was MJF.
Did he grab a mic?
I think so, yeah.
Sorry. The match restarts, each guy going for a pinfall while grabbing tights right away. MJF ducks. Cole hits the referee with a forearm. MJF smiles, leaves the ring to get a chair. Then we get the Eddie Guerrero spot where the two of them are tossing the chair back and forth.
That was kind of funny.
Waiting for the referee to wake up. So it looks like the ref is stirring. So MJF tosses the chair to Cole, and MJF falls down. Or no, sorry, other way around.
Cole fell down.
So MJF's holding the chair, but because he's so clever, he's like, fine, I'll put it around my neck.
I thought that was funny.
Right?
The only thing I didn't love was why was Cole getting up then, because then that would make him look bad.
Right.
But I thought MJF was really funny.
The referee does eventually wake up, doesn't call a DQ here for anybody. We get MJF with a super kick and a heat seeker for a 2 count. Straight jacket.
Heat seeker is a really cool move. I love it.
Straight jacket suplex on the apron to MJF looked good. We get a nice Panama Sunrise on the floor.
Oh, that was awesome.
And I like the selling too because MJF is dead weight, right? So by the time Cole can actually get him into the ring,
he's dead.
MJF had time to be able to kick out, right? Mm-hmm. MJF then moves out of the way and Cole gives the referee, I think it was Remsburg, right? A Panama Sunrise.
That was cool. I thought
it looked pretty good.
The landing wasn't perfect, but I thought in general it was really cool.
But the moving him into place and having him take it looked pretty good. MJF puts the diamond ring on his pinky finger.
He's thinking about it.
Has a moment of conflict and cannot quite do it. Roddy then shows up, hits a low blow to MJF. Panama Sunrise and boom to MJF. But the ref is just recovering, so his count is really, really slow. And MJF still manages to kick out. Roddy then hands a belt, the belt for Cole to use. But Cole does not follow through and use it. Roddy then marches out in frustration. MJF pops up inside Cradle, and he wins the match and retains his championship after 29 minutes.
29 minutes felt short to me. Like I thought this felt longer than 29 minutes. Not in a bad way.
No.
Just I thought it genuinely felt longer than that.
After the match, MJF tells Cole that it could have gone either way because obviously Cole is like crushed sitting in the corner. MJF says the people still love you. MJF says that he got lucky and that he goes and gets their tag team titles.
It's such a contrast to how MJF would be in any other thing. So
it gets their tag team titles and said, we've still got these at least. And then Cole, in a moment of frustration, just throws his out of the ring. So MJF, it thinks that this is all crashing down at this point, right? So he's kind of saying like, you never cared about me. You're a fake piece of crap that only cares about yourself. MJF then throws the world title at Cole and told him to effing take it. MJF told Cole to get over it. With Max, and hit Max with the title, basically. Roddy comes back telling Cole, yeah, that's what you need to do.
Roddy's so good.
Cole throws the title down again. And MJF and Cole end up hugging in the ring. As if we're not going to have any, they sort of, Cole's gotten over the frustration. He doesn't want Max to feel like this has all been a ruse. The fans love that they're hugging. MJF music plays. The stadium fills with confetti. And Mike Bennett and Matt Taven were there, and they're holding because they got to make the main event here, of course, as they would.
Closing of the show.
Holding back strong. Excellent match. Really, really liked it. My only thing that's like, because it's not, you were saying, I really don't want this to, take the throne from the.
It did not.
It didn't, and I think you can objectively say it did. I don't think our bias matters there.
I did want an amazing match. I think this was amazing, but selfishly, I'm happy.
A few too many moving parts to have it be like match of the year for me. Like multiple ref bumps, run-ins, foreign objects aplenty.
I don't know. I like that all though.
The ref bumps were a bit too much for me. More than one, I start to get struck because in other situations you have a second ref run down, right? When do we do that and when do we not? Anyways. Sure. I still thought this was a great match. Clear the chemistry between these two extends to in-ring as well as in segments and on the mic. Really good-looking offense and near falls. I liked the story that Cole was willing to do more serious damage than MJF was, right? Mm-hmm. And that could make sense because Cole has many friends, and MJF has only ever had one and doesn't want to lose.
And Cole's also the one chasing the title,
yes.
so I guess you could make the same argument if he was defending, but still.
Excellent match. Just a titch too heavy on storytelling, and it's weird for me to say that because it's super rare. I thought this was... I would give it probably 4.5 stars. This match.
I'd give it 4.5 too. I really liked it. I thought the storytelling was really nice. There was a lot, but I really liked it though. I did like Cole going all out to try to win the title. I thought the Panama Sunrises were really connecting. Yep. He hit a few of them.
The one on the floor looked awesome.
The tombstone on the table looked cool. The brainbuster on the stairs was bananas. MJF was at his peak form too. I thought these guys really delivered, especially because both of them were kind of face, and Cole acting kind of heelish made me happy because I loved heel Cole, and I hope we go back to that someday, but I'm willing to wait with this storyline. I think this was like a really nice climax to the story, at least so far, because obviously there's still more to do. But I really like this. It felt like a worthy main event for the show, though. I think that's the best thing I can say about it.
Yes.
Because for such a big show, I think they really needed to deliver on the last match, and I think they did deliver on it. I think it was really good. I liked Roddy's involvement, too. I like that he's actually, like, trying to screw MJF. I like that he was trying to help Cole, but Cole didn't really want it. I really like that, too. Some of the parts were amusing as well. I thought the false finish was it was well done. I was accepting that. And I don't know, I thought it was really good, and it felt like it belonged as the main event, which is good because I think the concern with that would be that it falls short, and then you're like, that's how your big show ends. But I think it was actually a really good ending, and that includes the Kingdom.
Yep. Dave Meltzer agrees with us. 4.5 stars.
Yeah, it's good. Not 6 stars.
Nope. Overall, lengthy but excellent show. No match really being a letdown. I pretty much loved FTR Bucks, Ospreay, Jericho in the main event, right? Then I thought Punk, Elite, Blackpool Gold, Bullet Club Gold, Stadium Stampede were all very good. Thought women's match, casket match, trios match were good. Like, nothing was bad. I don't think the build to some of these matches were great, but delivered. I gave it an A-. I thought it was a really good show. Like, nothing was... The worst thing was maybe the women's, and it was pretty short, right? And it wasn't even that it was bad. It was solid. So an A-. Really, really good show.
Yeah, for their biggest show that they've ever done, and I guess technically the biggest show in history, I think it did deliver on all fronts. I think top to bottom, a really strong show. I think, like you said, nothing really bad, and a few really good ones. Like, I really loved the main event. I think Ospreay Jericho was really good. I don't know what my top 3 would be. I think it'd be probably the main event, maybe the trios, the first trios, with that one, and then maybe Stadium Stampede.
With Bullet Club Gold.
Bullet Club Gold,
yes.
Yes,
that was fun.
And then like Stadium Stampede was fun, like chaotic. I think the worst match was maybe the women's or the trios titles, but neither of those were bad by any means. I think even the pre-show really delivered.
That's a good point.
At least feeling like it mattered. So I think top to bottom, it's a really good show, and it felt like a worthwhile effort for such a momentous occasion.
Yep.
And props to them for getting this done, because it's crazy that they have pulled this off, and WCW never did that, TNA never did that. So it's crazy that they've been able to do this, and they've usurped the record from the clutches of the Juggernaut. So I was really pleased with this all in all. I think it's really cool. I'm looking forward to the next one, of course. I think I would also give it an A-. It was a very nice show.
Yeah, really good.
Probably makes the bill for one of the best shows of the year.
I think so.
I think with this, surprisingly, WrestleMania, probably Forbidden Door. A little biased.
So they have a history of some of the matches where without very strong builds being really entertaining shows still. So that's always nice, right? You can always fall back on the in-ring action with AEW, I feel like.
Yeah.
Even when other stuff is bugging you.
Agreed.
Right? All right, so we are already at an hour and 40 minutes, buddy. So we got to get moving through our next segment where we take a look now at what's first. I guess it'll be this week's AEW Dynamite. All right, my son, talk to me about this week's Dynamite. What happened? Anything? I think I watched it.
I think I watched it, yeah.
Me too.
We kicked off with a quick all-in recap package, which we kind of just did, so...
No need to go over that.
We opened with Jon Moxley versus Commander, which I don't even know if I saw this advertised.
Yeah, it was kind of out of nowhere, right? A little bit?
A little bit. There was a tilt-a-whirl head scissors from Commander, which sent Mox out of the ring. Then he hit a high crossbody to the outside. There's a crazy corkscrew dive from the top from Commander in the ring, but he missed it. Mox followed up with an X-Plex. Dropkick to the knee, followed by a basement DDT from Commander. Torture rack into a double knee gutbuster from Commander for 2.
That was cool.
Torture rack, gut check.
Bit surprised.
Commander went for a rope walk into a 450 splash. Mox got his knees up.
That looked
King
good
Kong
too.
Larry and a pile driver for 2 from Mox. Then Mox being down with hammer and elbows locked him in a sleeper, but then he switched to a Juji Katami for the win.
Yeah, a pretty dominant win from Mox, right? I got a bit of a flurry from Commander near the end that I liked it because it was like seemed to just piss Moxley off and make him even more violent, which I kind of like that idea. Good enough match, predictable outcome, not a hot opener exactly, but not a bad match either, right? Like this is what you're gonna get from this, so it was solid.
Yeah, I thought it was a fine opener. No story here, but it was solid. Kind of random, yeah. It heats up Mox a little bit ahead of All Out, I guess. So I guess it's good enough for that. But on paper, it was an interesting clash of styles here, and it ended up in a solid match just by just being kind of plopped in front of us.
Right.
Commander looked pretty good though. I felt like he worked more well rounded here, like less of his crazy stuff, which was still evident here, but he still had some like normal, like some standard wrestling in here, which I thought was kind of interesting, like just kind of more of a well-rounded performance here. And then Mox had some really cool stuff as well, and then put him away brutally. Nothing complicated, but a fine start, I thought.
Me too.
Next we get a quick Orange Cassidy package. He says it doesn't matter to him how many defenses he's had, he won't stop, and he'll keep defending whenever he has to against whoever. He says even after one of the craziest matches he's ever been in, he won't stop because he doesn't do that. He says if he makes it through tonight, he'll show Mox he's a different Orange Cassidy from the guy who started here. And that is it. I thought there was another one.
I thought this was like about as serious as and intense as Cassidy has ever been, right? And it makes sense because he's doing that against a guy like Moxley, and you can't roll in being a comedy guy because Mox is going to kill you. So I kind of like yeah. I'm a little different than what you think I am. So I thought it was a good quick segment from him and showing a little bit of range, right? Yeah. This was pretty serious Orange Cassidy.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was a really nice promo from him. Really straightforward, but probably one of the times we've heard him talk the most, and it was more serious, yeah. I really liked what he had to say, just the embodiment of your typical fighting champion, and I'm looking forward to the match with Mox. And yeah, he's kind of got to ramp himself up a bit because you got to really go all in to combat Mox. Or all out.
Exactly.
If you want. I don't know. All in, all out, whatever. Next we get Bucks backstage post All In. So this is from then. Nick says it was supposed to be their night and it was disappointing. They're talking about like this is the show they created years ago and they came up short here. FTR come in and Dax asks what the deal is with the no handshake. The Bucks talk about how they created the show, and with all the fans there, they lost their cool, and they at least owe them respect. So we're about to get that, but then the Bang Bang Gang come in celebrating their win. They're carrying the card blade around, which is
just the energy picks up when they walk in, right?
The card blade thing amuses me.
They carry it around.
The switchblade. Yeah, because he was gone for a week or whatever, so they started carrying around.
They adopted him now.
And then I laughed when I found out his name was Card Blade. And so Bullet Club Gold come in. They tell the Bucks to beat it, and the FTR can say what they want because this is the winner's room. White says between the two losses, the Elite doesn't seem to be doing too good. And basically, we get to FTR and the Bucks challenging them to an 8-man tag, so we will get that all out.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a flimsy way to put a match together for a show a week away.
Don't care.
But the match should be good. And Blackpool, my God.
I
can't do it.
This is why
This is my new AE Dynamite.
This is why I never shorten it to BCG because I know that will trip. I always do
that's exactly my problem.
At most, I do BC Gold because I know the word gold will because I
trigger you.
If I do BCG, because I do BCC because that's literally been on shirts, so I'm like, okay, that's an appropriate.
Too close. I
can't do it because I'm going because you were saying like because I think you said you were doing BCG and I was like. And I think we talked about it before, right? And I can't do it because
clearly I can't either.
I trip myself up on it just saying it because like they just sound too similar.
Bullet Club Gold.
There we go. You got to like enunciate.
Continue to entertain me.
Yes.
They almost have, and you might get offended by this, but in the good sense, DX vibes a little bit.
I could see what you mean.
Right, you've got your Hunter, you've got your Sean, and you've got your like.
Who's your Sean?
I would say Sean is. Who do you think's the bigger? I would say Sean's Jay White because he's the bigger star.
Sean's a bigger star than Trips?
Overall in the history of the company, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
That makes sense.
And then you've got
Juice Robinson's Triple H confirmed.
And then you got the New Age Outlaws as your tag team. Kind of fits, right?
Billy Gunn.
And it's just that whole we don't take anything seriously kind of deal, right? But still while being
I think
ass
Bullet
kickers.
Club Gold have really come into their own because I thought they started out solid. I love Switch and Juice, so they started out solid. But I think adding the guns, which is weird for me to say, but I think that really added a lot to their act, and I like the guns now. So
and I really
like them as a
Jay
whole
White
unit.
sounds really comfortable, and the match should be good. So I don't know. I was fine with
this. Masterful heel. Honestly, Switchblade, it sucks because him and Swerve are like they're in the next level for me. I think at some point one of them's got to either get like the international title or the world title because both of those guys are money.
Well, they'll have gold at some point for sure.
I love them both so much. So, but yeah, I thought this was pretty good. Like you said, Bullet Club Gold never failed to amuse me. I just love them as a whole. Like I love seeing Bang Bang Gang.
I was just gonna say, even the Bang Bang Gang thing is just
like I remember someone like
for the tone they're doing.
I remember someone like commented like they said Bang Bang Gang sounds gay or whatever. I'm like I don't. It's funny.
No,
like,
it sounds good.
I love it so much. Card Blade is amusing too. Buckbit was solid. It makes sense. It'll be interesting to see if this is like a breadcrumb for them turning again or something. Then I'm wondering if like. I don't think they would turn heel with Omega again, but because I kind of miss Heel Elite. They were such dickbags. It was so good. Oh, Nick Jackson was peak. It might just be a thing because of All In. But the 8-man tag sounds sweet though. I'm liking the sound of it. I'm looking forward to that. But I was really hoping and maybe we could get it down the line. I would love a 3-way tag title match. We get FTR versus Bucks versus.
Yep.
I would prefer Switch and Juice, but if you want to put the guns in instead because they're technically the tag team of the crew, then you could do that. But yeah, I would love that. Then we get a recap of my favorite match from All In, which is, of course, the women's title match. Then we get an interview with Toni Storm. She was just, the gist of it was just she's kind of freaking out because she can't trust people, and she's doing some, kind of diva gimmick or whatever.
It's like old school Hollywood starlet or, film noir.
Which is weird because I don't know where this is coming from.
I don't either, but, for me, at the end of the day, you're trying to add depth to a woman on this character, on this roster, sorry.
No, I was thinking,
so
at the very least, it's interesting.
Right.
I don't, I feel like it's kind of random because I know she's...
Oh, it is.
She kind of changed her look like this before All In. So I wish they kind of waited on this to start it now, so that would make a little more sense. But at least it's something interesting for her because I kind of get it stemming from All In and everything that went down. So I feel like they should have just waited to go full tilt on this. But I think it's interesting. The only issue is it stems from the Outcast, so I don't care a ton.
So I'm waiting a bit longer to see how I feel about it, but I'm happy they're trying something with her, right?
I just also noted that Saraya's champion's horrible. May it be a transitional run. Although Shida winning the title's random too, so why couldn't she be transitional? I don't know. It's
Hater
weird.
comes back. Hater says that was supposed to be my spots. Hater squashes her in 90 seconds.
We do the Brody Lee thing.
Yeah.
R.I.P. It's weird. I hope Saraya loses it soon. I would like that too. Actually, what you're saying. Doesn't really matter who beats her as long as they don't suck.
Correct.
That's our criteria. Don't suck and be interesting. Because Chris Statlander doesn't suck, but she's not very interesting. So.
I forget she exists.
Yeah. Exactly.
Again, this is a champion in your company.
I don't know if it's better or worse than Jade. I mean, I'm just glad it's not Jade anymore, but it's not. She's not doing much better.
And I like Statlander, but we don't see her.
She's good she's got half of our criteria. She doesn't suck, but she's also not interesting.
Correct.
So she's got half the criteria. Next we get to hear from Chris Jericho. Woo-hoo.
Yeah.
He called All In one of the greatest weekends of his career for Fozzie's big show on Friday. Oh, they had a show on Friday. Okay, never mind. My bad. There was a show, but I hope it was better than All In, I guess. Then he talks about the tickets sold, and he says the number's real. So I think it is too. I think right.
So
I'm pretty sure
they went out of their way to phrase it as paid attendance.
So
where WWE does not do that when they make
just
up
go
their stuff. They
balls out with attendance.
They just say attendance because that could be
so
we brought 5,000 people in and gave them tickets or whatever, right? So they actually said paid, so it leads me to believe it's a little more legit, but who knows?
That's true. Because I feel like it'd be a little weird to lie about paid attendance.
Agree. You chose those words for a reason.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
You could easily do the WWE thing and lie about it, right? Or, yeah.
With 90,000 in attendance, including that. So, and I'm only half kidding. That could include the employees working the concessions and stuff, right? Because they're in attendance, but they didn't pay, and they're not even watching the show. But I could see them lumping them in.
Maybe
I'm
they're
just that skeptical about WWE.
Maybe they're watching on the backstage monitor. You know how those are always playing on the
from the side, standing beside it.
So he says he regrets how he treated Sammy after the match, pushing him away, so he calls him out. And Jericho thanked him for trying to help, I think, and with the bat shot. We played a video of that.
Yep.
Sammy said he always has his back, and a little push isn't going to break them up. Although that's how backstage issues start. So I wouldn't take pushes so lightly.
Be professional.
Sammy's professional.
Be professional.
Sammy is professional. He said Jericho said he's been replaying the match in his mind, trying to figure out what could happen. He rhymes things off. He says maybe Sammy could have hit Ospreay harder with the bat, because that would make sense.
Yep.
Then they kind of start trading barbs after that. Sammy said he'd left his pregnant wife in Orlando to be there for Jericho. I said if he wasn't worried about having Jericho's back, then maybe he could have wrestled on the show. True.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy told Jericho about losing on the biggest show they've ever had. Jericho insulted Sammy by saying he didn't win the title in the Four Pillars feud, and Sammy made a reference that I liked about Jericho winning the world title in the same arena they're in, because they're in Chicago, but then losing the title at a steakhouse in Jacksonville, which that was funny. I actually forgot about that.
He did do that.
Then they kind of were having a stare down. Then Jericho's like, "Oh, we should go after the tag titles," and Sammy's like, "Okay," and then they hugged.
Yes.
That's the gist of it, and I don't want them to, but
some weirdness. First of all, and I'm not even saying anyone's performance wasn't good here, but Jericho's character changes significantly so frequently that I have trouble getting invested in anything he's doing, right? Because he's gone heel face with these people, against these people so much, so often. And to be fair, Sammy's kind of been doing it too, right? Like, remember when it was the Four Pillars thing?
Yeah.
Where, suddenly he's a baby face,
well,
then he's
I
not?
think partially because, they were starting to do a face turn with him, and then they forgot about it. I don't think that's entirely on him, because I think he could have been doing a whole baby face shtick by now.
It just makes this stuff hard to
I think I only kind of know it last week because Ospreay really sold me on the match, but now Ospreay's absent, so
I think they both did a fine job, and I'm all for wrestlers taking verbal shots at each other, and some of them were good, and the crowd did react to some of them, and I don't think it was a bad segment, but it doesn't hit for me since I struggle to pin down what either of these guys are.
And since I do not want them in the tag title scene.
And then they go from insulting each other and whatever to yep, we're tag team partners.
Jericho's like, we need to get back on track. Let's go for the tag titles.
So my question to you, does this feel like a budget MJF Cole?
No.
No, feels like kind of dollar store to me.
No, it just feels like
we're friends, we're not friends, who's turning on who.
I don't know. It just doesn't feel the same to me, because that one, these guys,
obviously that's why it's dollar store version.
No, but I don't know. I guess maybe, but it just doesn't, because I don't care about it.
I know, same. So
it's just,
I don't know if it's a bad segment. It's not for me. I don't really care. Yeah. I don't know who these guys are half the time, so I'm not buying into much.
Nope. This is okay. Back to Jericho stuff I don't really care about. Send him fine. Just don't care. Don't care about him apologizing to Sammy. Don't care about their sarcastic shots. I like some of them, like the reference to him losing the title, literally losing it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I don't care, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
I certainly don't have any interest in a tag team run for these two. Sammy, as one of AEW's supposed pillars, can do a lot better than this, and he can have much better matches and more success without Jericho. And I don't need to see Jericho wrestle consistently, much less go for a championship in this day and age.
Correct.
I think this is the stage where he should be winding down his career, and I saw someone say he should be their Undertaker kind of thing. He can be used for special appearances, have him in the odd match, make him look good. He doesn't need to be doing regular things like this. I don't want him to have any title in AEW. He did a good job getting AEW started with his title run, but he doesn't need to do another title run in any capacity or go for one. Plus, there's way better teams to dethrone FTR, like Aussie Open, anyone from Bullet Club Gold, if you want to do one of those combinations. Maybe even a Blackpool combination could have a solid run with the titles. Not to mention the recently reformed Proud and Powerful. Get them in the mix, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Mike Santana. Get my boy Mike.
Gotta get them going again, there's some ex-Inner Circle guys I actually care about.
Yes.
And I'm not talking Jake Hager. Anyways, this was fine with an outcome I don't want.
Yep.
Speaking of Blackpool, or Bullet Club Gold, depending on what we're saying. Mox is speaking backstage. Gist of it was he was basically saying it was something everyone around here's got a lot of bark or whatever. All the talk and whatever, and we'll see who has the bigger bite at All Out. And he will walk out international champion.
Yeah, good work from him, and it's hard. He's trying to build a match where, in theory, he doesn't know his opponent, right? So he doesn't know if he's facing Cassidy or
Penta Oscuro.
So it's tough to sort of get too specific, but he sounds good as he usually does.
I thought it'd be funny. Mox would be an interesting philosophy teacher because he's like saying things like this. I thought it was funny, but I really liked it. I like the way he talks. But when he was talking about that, he was talking about like everyone with so much bark. I immediately thought of one particular person who may be native to Chicago. Yeah, perhaps.
Would you say he was made there?
I would even go as far to say he was made there. My friend was telling me, Hancock was telling me that you can do a survey from Fan Expo, and we could win tickets to Chicago Fan Expo.
Go burn it down.
I don't want to go. I refuse to go to Chicago. I don't want to go.
Case Punk's there because he likes superheroes. You could spit on him or something.
I could spit on him. Yeah, I should bring my lightsaber and just wail on him with it.
That too.
I'd rather go to San Antonio. Thank you. Not for a particular reason, just for the shop. No wrestlers, but just the shop.
Right.
Next we get Eddie Kingston versus Wheeler Yuta, another random one, but and the New Japan Strong Openweight Championship.
Correct.
And Kingston's got Kenny.
Kenny.
He's got a bandage around his head from Stadium Stampede.
Mm-hmm. Even though he was MIA for half of that match at least.
Well, I mean, you don't know how beat up he got back there. You weren't there.
I was not.
You were not there. So Yuta went after Eddie's taped elbow as well in the early going. I put him in a hammerlock and the shoulder first in the ring post. Yuta was seated on the top turnbuckle. Eddie just clubbed him to knock him to the outside. Then he hit a suicide dive to him. Machine gun chops from Kingston. Nice German suplex from Yuta for 2 after a brief exchange. Kingston got his knees up on a diving splash, followed with a Saito suplex for 2. Load of hammer and elbows from Yuta. Hammer and anvil elbows. I skipped a word there. Then the finish came when we got a half and half suplex from Kingston. Then he hits a Yuriken, the back fist. But Yuta was like trying to stay up, kind of stay strong, New Japan kind of style. Kingston connects with another Yuriken.
Looked good.
Or Hurricane or whatever.
Huracan?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I spelled it right this time. And Kingston was able to retain and get the win. And after the match, I really liked that Claudio came from the crowd to get Yuta. He just walked around the ring.
Didn't even look at him.
Didn't look at Eddie once. It's like the classic, like, you're like just trying to look at dead on, like, you're intentionally like ignoring someone, you know what I mean? And I loved it because it just
and now they're kind of showing me some tension between these two instead of just telling me, like, hey, they hate each other, and me going, what? Why? Right? Mm-hmm. So I like that. Yeah, a lot of Yuta targeting Eddie's shoulder and Eddie selling, but that's fine. Because Yuta's talented, right? So he can very and realistically attack that arm.
Mm-hmm.
The punishment that Eddie takes make the crowd all the happier, right? When he finally does get his time to come back. Because you just sort of get caught up in Eddie Kingston and you want him to do well. So it's really effective. And then Yuta sort of switched to more high impact stuff and Eddie keeps kicking out and building to that eventual fire up. And then the 2 Hurricanes I thought looked good. I like the match, and Yuta's just one of those guys that has good matches with all kinds of people and all kinds of styles and never wins.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I felt like another one that was kind of inserted, but I feel like at least this one has the Eddie Claudio thing kind of, or Eddie Blackpool. So at least it was like random, but kind of also makes sense.
There's 1 degree of separation, right?
Yeah,
so that's not
exactly.
Too far.
I liked it though, pretty solid. Simple story of Eddie's injuries in the match that Yuta targeted. I thought that worked really nicely. I like some hard-hitting exchanges in here. Towards the end, I thought the finish made Yuta look good too because he took a few moves to like get down.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Claudio walking by without so much as a glance in Eddie's direction amused me greatly because you just know that's gonna piss off Eddie, just something like that, just that kind of disrespect. And I love it for Claudio. It's just like a different approach to kind of antagonize someone. So I really liked that. I thought that was really funny, and I thought that was really cool.
It was, and I don't love Claudio on the mic, so this is a good way to sort of further that without him having to talk.
Really well done, for someone who isn't the strongest on the mic. Next, we get a recap of MJF and Adam Cole's night All In, including the pre-show and the main event. Then we get them in the locker room after the show, I think. Cole congratulates MJF on the win. MJF says he loves him, but he tried to break his neck like 6 times. I thought that was funny. Fair point. He made him wrestle more one night than he likes to in, like, I think he said a month or so. And Tony Khan told him there's a battle royal and Rampage for a shot at the ROH tag titles at All Out, as well as a tourney to determine who will face MJ for the AEW title at Dynamite Grand Slam. It's like they had a tournament last year, remember? Except this time it's not for a vacant title because of CM Punk.
Right.
There's a difference.
Could be soon.
Vacate the real world championship.
Right.
And then I saw someone post, and it was really funny. It was when CM Punk's with the really real world championship, and it's like that, but with like more lines. So it's like, when like you do like an X and then a plus, it's like a star. It was like that. So it's like he just keeps adding lines to it every time. So he might do that next time.
He could.
But MJ says he's gonna go to Paris and take a week off. Cole says he deserves it and leaves.
Yeah, I thought MJF was pretty funny here, and he still managed to work in basically promos for upcoming events, right, within this. And he's kind of right when he points out that, like, his relationship with Cole has kept him working, because heel MJF was like, I can barely show up and do anything and blah, blah, blah. And now he's like, man, you've got me in, like, high-profile matches all the time since they became friends. So I like this.
I saw Sylvan Reynolds won the Battle Royal, so that's an interesting choice. I was hoping for Aussie Open, but... whatever. A little tournament action should be really fun. And I like this as well. MJF was pretty amusing, and a nice plug to announce a couple things as well. I thought that worked. Next we get a Sammy Guevara interview for some reason. Don Callis interrupts and talks to Sammy about how hard it is being Jericho's friend. He says Sammy must find it difficult dealing with a sociopath like Jericho, Don Callis. Guevara tells him to stop talking. He knows who he's up to. He has a family that he didn't leave to talk to Don, and he tells him to get lost.
So...
I thought it was fun. I like Don being a sleazeball, but I don't really know if there's a point here.
And then it's like, so again, he and Jericho are on the same page after just insulting each other. And so at least Sammy's a smart baby face, right? And he's not falling for Callis's tactics, because a lot of baby faces are really stupid.
Jericho.
So I like that. And it'd be fine. I'd be fine with a story where Callis will do anything to destroy Jericho if they just worked a little harder to show me Callis's motivation. Because I'm still not entirely...
I think that's why he should just focus on destroying Omega, because that we understand.
That I get.
That's much better.
And it's like, if you're trying to transfer that onto Jericho, I'm not quite getting it, right? So I don't mind that story, but I need to know why Callis
I know they have
history,
but the history and then his motivations here, it doesn't really connect for me.
With the level of his hatred or whatever.
It's just like, I don't understand how them being like friends with Bad News Allen, it just doesn't make sense.
Same.
Still not looking forward to this tag title run. Doesn't feel like something we should be seeing right now.
Yep.
Next we hear from Adam and Cole, Bebe. Sans MJF, of course.
I'm looking at a line I wrote down that's making me laugh already.
Because MJF's obviously gone. So Cole called All In greatest pro wrestling event of all time. Cole spoke about winning the tag titles, and then he said it hurt losing the main event. And he said MJF's banged up, but they'll be ready to go at All Out. Roddy comes in shouting at Adam. He arrived in his neck brace along with the Kingdom, the OGK. They got in the ring. Strong said Cole cares more about MJF's neck than Strong's neck, which I thought was kind of funny.
Is my neck health not important to you? That was the line.
That was really funny.
I loved it.
Roddy was in his bag here. Mike Bennett interrupted with story time with Mike Bennett, baby. He talked about 2010 ROH in the ECW arena, and that's when they all got signed to Ring of Honor. He said they did everything together, and Cole was at his wedding, hosted his bachelor party. Bennett trashed Chicago to get heat, of course. He said Cole cares far too much about what the fans think of him. And when Cole tried to speak, Taven told him to shut up. And this is when it really picked up, of course.
Easy now. You're just trolling me at this point.
What? No.
These guys. I can't deal with these guys. But anyways.
Taven told Cole this is just who he is. Taven said that Cole used the Kingdom in ROH. Then he went to Bullet Club. And Cole went to Florida where he surrounded himself with their friends.
Yes.
Roddy. Taven said Cole's a liar. I think he's a changed man. He said he's latched onto that Melvin MJF. And I quote.
That is a Taven word.
Melvin Jacob Friedman.
Melvin is a Taven.
Because he thinks it's the gateway to the AEW title. Strong says he's going to enter the Grand Slam tournament. He's going to take the title from MJF and do what Cole couldn't. Cole says Strong's no in condition wrestling, and Strong's all like, oh, now you care about me.
Mm-hmm.
Strong says he doesn't need a neck that is 100% to win a match decisively. He says he's going to win that tournament and break everybody's back like that because he's a wrestling legend.
If he goes back into being the Messiah, the backbreaker, I'll be super happy.
He's always been the Messiah, the backbreaker,
but he sort of toned it down. Even in NXT, it was tons of backbreakers.
Yeah,
I feel like there's fewer. But Roddy's really funny to me.
I loved Roddy here. He was surprisingly good.
And too bad he comes with the other two because I just can't.
I thought they were fine.
I don't enjoy them. But yeah, the line of "Is my neck health not important to you?" was great. And I'm interested in Roddy and Cole. I just don't want the Kingdom because that's just my own bias. They just irritate me. I just have trouble paying attention to them too. So I don't think Roddy's delivery is great still, but it's almost like he's leaning into that fact, and it's really amusing to me. So
I think that could work because he's kind of like not whiny, but like just like because just the jealous friend kind of thing. Yeah. I think that kind of lends itself.
And
to
it's
that.
like we both are suffering neck things. Why are you so worried about his? And it could be because he's the one that inflicted it all, but whatever, right? Like, that's a detail Roddy doesn't want to focus on.
He had neck issues first. So.
Right.
But yeah, I thought Cole was really good talking about All In, all that. But I think surprisingly, Roddy was the highlight here. Which when has Roddy ever been the highlight of a promo segment ever?
Yeah,
just ever.
Yeah.
When he comes in shouting Adam, it's always really funny. I thought everything he said was pretty good too. I really liked him. It's probably the best I've ever heard him sound, and it's pretty wild.
And it's like he's perpetually running late for everything, right?
Yeah.
Like he's always just a little bit later than he should be.
At least he finally got time to say something, though. I think he's got a good point, too, and an understandable one. I thought the Kingdom were fine. They had a bit to this just because of their history, but I think those Melvins don't really do much.
They don't.
I
don't think people know who they are, really. They're not on TV.
So. No,
anyways.
They're not. I think Roddy really delivered, though.
He does.
I think it's it gives me some of the vibe to the Dark Order's issue with Hangman that we had a little while ago. It feels like kind of a similar thing to that. Like, Cole's kind of forgotten Roddy for the flashy new friend that's, like, helped him out now. Kind of like a Hangman with the Elite. It's somewhat of a similar thing, in my opinion. Roddy in that tournament is interesting, and honestly, I genuinely think he should win it.
He's awesome in ring.
He's great in the ring.
He is.
At this moment, he's interesting character-wise as well, dare I say. It feels like the perfect next step for this story to go with neither MJF nor Cole having turned on the other yet, so we can still run them as friends. And with Roddy being kind of heelish, I think, and MJF being kind of face-ish, I think the dynamics work perfectly. And, of course, then it's the battle of Cole's like kind of best friends with him in the metaphorical middle.
And when's O'Reilly back?
Oh, imagine.
Because we could weave him in somewhere, right?
And then you
not to get your hopes up, because it will.
Then you get rid of the Kingdom, O'Reilly and Strong versus Cole and MJF for the ROH tag titles. That's fantasy book.
And so their like heat up feud can be with OGK because they're mad that Roddy abandoned them, and they can job to Roddy and O'Reilly on their way to Cole and MJF. There you go. And then all is right with the universe.
I think Roddy in this tournament is actually a good fit. So I genuinely think he should win it.
I'd be fine with it.
I don't know who else is in there yet, but just on paper, I think him winning and having a match with MJF would be awesome from an in-ring standpoint. It would be great from a story standpoint. I think it'd be perfect.
And he can persevere neck targeting by everybody he faces, right? Whatever.
Exactly. And then I think maybe something in Roddy versus MJF will facilitate a turn from either MJF or Cole. Maybe that could be our kind of climax or the straw that broke the camel's back or whatever it is. I don't know. Anyways, great stuff here. I thought Roddy was the best he's ever been on the stick. And it was really nice to see him actually like be entertaining for once.
He is.
This is good. Next we got a quick Penta promo. He says it's not personal, it's just business with Cassie, but Mox hurt his brother, so it is personal, and he will hurt him.
So it's not personal, but it's personal?
It's personal, not personal tonight. It's personal with Mox. Yes.
Gotcha.
Different matches are personal and not personal.
That's fair.
Alex says in the same arena when the Lucha Bros won the tag titles in the cage match that I just now remembered happened, that feels so long ago.
It does.
In a time when Phoenix's arm operated normally.
Correct.
That was nice. That was weird. That match was awesome. I forgot about that, actually. But anyways, in the same arena, they won those titles in that match that I just remembered existing. Penta will win his first singles title tonight. And he was taking notes on Mox during the match with Commander, or Alex was, that is. Alex says Penta will make Mox bleed like he never has before, and it's time for an international champion with Cero Miedo.
Yeah, I thought it was just a fine, generic, nothing
that is
special.
Pretty solid.
He's not winning, but he looks cool.
I liked what Penta and Alex had to say, but Alex's delivery is always a little weird to me when Penta isn't heel, and it's not the kind of snarky way. I think once Penta turns heel, because I think we need to do that at some point, but then we'd have an influx of heels that I really like, because if we have Penta, Oscuro, Switchblade, and Swerve running around, how am I going to choose between the three? That's pretty tricky, so maybe not, but I'm just saying, if Penta was heel, Alex works a lot better.
Yep.
I really like Penta's gear, though. The red and black was really clean. I mean, when's it not, though? So... Anyways, women's match of the week. It's random. It's Hikaru Shida, Chris Statlander, and Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose, Emi Sakura, and Play.
Yay.
Play
I like
time.
Emi Sakura. I like Nyla Rose.
I like Statlander.
I like everybody except Shafir. No offense, Roddy. Love you. Not a huge fan of the wife.
Not
in ring.
We don't love the wife.
Might be a lovely woman. Don't know.
Don't know. It doesn't really matter in this case. I only noted two things, because I'm going to be honest. I did not care enough to pay attention.
That's fine, because we've got to get efficient here. You got to work in a bit.
She'd had crowd count punches and missile dropkick to Sakura from the middle rope. Statlander dove onto the pile, and she hit like her tombstone kind of move on Shafir for the win. I thought it was fine, just kind of a sprint kind of thing. Not the really fun kind of sprint, just like the rushed nothing really kind of way. Another women's match on Dynamite where it's very clearly one side and you know the outcome, which isn't always a problem. Correct. We always say that, but that's when you have a really great or entertaining match. And the short commercial cut bout is neither of those things. The face win is predictable. Shafir taking the fall is no surprise either. Soho attacking Statlander after is what they should have. After is what it's whatever. They should have had a solid match, or they should have a solid match at All Out. Sorry, I just don't care at all. I don't really know the story because I think it was mostly Collision, which, newsflash, don't care.
Just no heat for this match, right? I like most of the people in it, but both teams kind of felt like cobbled together. And is there a story to this in any way that I'm not aware of? I don't think so, right? So, and again, this is where in my notes, I'm like, I had almost forgotten about Statlander.
I honestly had until this. I was like, and she still got the more than a woman thing on her gear. Like, what is her gimmick? What does that mean?
An alien, more than a woman. She's an alien.
I feel like in this day and age, like the more than women could be like, you know, pronouns based, or like if that was her case, but I don't think it is.
I don't know
because they've never mentioned.
Think so.
And I don't think it is. If it was, then that would make a little more sense to me. Yeah. Which it's not really a gimmick either, because that's just the thing. But it's not. Anyways, she does not have a gimmick, which is an issue because you can say what you want about the alien thing, but at least that was her gimmick. Her
gimmick initially coming back is not alien, but that's it. Like, I'm not what I was before.
Yeah,
I'm completely
remember
undefined.
She turned a while ago, she was not an alien for a while. Now she's just more than a woman.
Babyface, not an alien. All we know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't love it because I feel like at least the alien was definably something.
Yeah,
sorry, not definitively something. And now it's just.
I said same thing. Decent action at times, tough to care about. And then hopefully the miscommunication between Sheeta and Britt leads to heel Britt, right? That's the hope for me. Because
Sheeta versus Baker would be a good non-title feud.
I very much dislike how not interesting Britt Baker is. When she has such potential to be so interesting, and that particular division sucks. Why are you not reheating her?
Yeah, they gotta.
But anyway,
I actually saw the worst rated AEW matches of all time, top 10. Baker and Valkyrie made it.
That's bad, man.
It was really
bad match.
It's worse when it's two people that are supposed to be good.
Supposed to be. One, I think, actually is pretty good, and one has fallen off. Yes.
Yeah. Anyways, next we get a quick highlight reel for Shane Taylor. It's mostly just highlights and a little exposition. I didn't really catch much in detail, but I thought it was pretty good. Made him look good, and it's probably helpful for people that don't know him. I just don't think him versus Joe really feels like it belongs on All Out.
I love Shane Taylor, so I know what you're saying. I look forward to the match. It's going to be an absolute slugfest.
I think it'll be pretty good. I just don't think it really belongs.
So Shane Taylor, if you haven't seen much of him, he sounds real on the mic. I love him on the mic. He's really good in the ring. His finisher is devastating. The Welcome to the Land, it's called. And he has a really unique look, right, once you see him. So I hope he has a good showing here because I think this is... a lot of fans, this is their chance to get familiar with him. So I love Shane Taylor, and I think he should be a big focus on ROH at least, because he's a former television champion. That's the thing he's coming with here. He was a long-reign successful champion, so he's coming back after that title.
He had a thing with Khan.
He did.
It was Khan and someone else, though, because it wasn't Leona, was it?
No, it wasn't. It was Khan and, oh my goodness.
Was it Moses?
Yeah, it was.
Was he someone else, or was he just... I don't know if I'm like gaslighting myself, but was Moses just Leona but different?
No,
it wasn't.
It's a different dude.
I was gonna say
almost positive.
I don't remember what he looks like. Hold on,
I'll look him up. You got to keep going.
I want to see what he looks like though. Shane Taylor Promotions.
Yes.
What do they look like? Oh yeah, Moses looks like Shane Taylor kinda.
Yeah, he was good too. I actually thought they were all decent. They were.
Yeah. But Khan, I like Khan.
Yeah.
I like the way he spells it. It's weird to like a spelling, but I like how he spells Khan.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it's better than Khan from Impact.
Fair.
Callis and Takeshita next. It was basically just like Callis was kind of analyzing and telling Takeshita how to target Omega All Out, like mentioning his previous surge and injuries. I think the main one he mentioned was Omega's neck, of course. I think he mentioned his knee and back or something like that. He told Takeshita to do more of the heavy forearms, and Takeshita was making evil faces at the camera and saying things.
Yep.
I really like this. It reminded me of those Taz segments that we used to get, the Technique by Taz.
Right.
It reminded me of those. And so I thought it was really cool. And Callis analyzing Omega, it was cool and it made sense because he knows Omega a lot, obviously. And I thought Takeshita was really cool and menacing as well. I'm looking forward to that match a lot.
And I like specific targeting and targeting his neck, if they're going after that's going to be interesting. I mean, I don't get why you do a coaching session on national TV, but whatever. You got to forgive something.
I don't think it matters whether Omega will know or not, because
you'd probably
Takeshita can probably get on it anyways.
Right.
Next we just hear from the Acclaimed. It's all rap from Caster. I think, what was there? There's a reference to, I think it was Trump. I think it was.
I forget what else.
Oh, mugshot. It was something about his
mugshot.
Yeah. Bones welcomed us to the House of Ass, which I think is kind of funny. Basically, the gist of it was they have new trios titles with a pink strap instead, and the ends of the straps have divots in them, so you can scissor with the straps, which I find very
It's humorous. A fun little detail, I guess.
They are going to defend the trios titles on Collision. And now, for such a big time match, who do you think they're defending against?
I forget already.
It's Jazz.
Oh, it is.
It's Garcia in 2.0.
It is.
Yeah, just not Jazz, I guess.
Interesting.
Technically speaking. But yeah, that's it. This was fine. This didn't really see much of consequence. If anything, the new belts are funny. And this didn't lack much. It just lacked substance for me.
Agree. And just remember when the trios titles were announced and we were so excited by all the incredibly cool trios teams we could form. No offense, the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn was not one of them, even though we liked the Acclaimed just fine, right?
But that's because Billy Gunn didn't have to wrestle all the time.
And also the whole ribbon cutting is not a thing. Like, they played this like this is a thing, and you don't ribbon cut for belts. It was just a way to shoehorn scissors in, right? So it's kind of like, okay. I thought,
guess for them that makes sense then, but yeah, I don't know.
Largely a waste of time and just kind of far too long as far as I'm concerned. And it's not the first time the Acclaimed have had a lengthy in-ring segment that I thought was a miss.
Yeah,
so I was not a fan of this.
I feel like they do these in like their crap off them because they're so over, but I feel like because of that they lack substance, but you don't really notice with the crowd going, whatever.
Right. So I wasn't a big fan.
Next we get our main event, which is Orange Cassidy versus Penta Oscar. No, Penta El Zero Miedo. We're back to normal.
Right.
For the AEW Leveled Up International Championship. Some notables from the match. Penta caught Cassidy out of suicide dive in the military press, which he's done a few times, which, I mean, it's pretty crazy he does that. I know he always does it to lighter guys like Cassidy, but it's still pretty crazy that you can do that because he doesn't look like a guy who would be doing that. So
right.
It's so cool. He throws him into the barricade, which I thought was cool as well. Cassidy hits the tilt-a-whirl DDT later on. Float over backstabber from Penta for 2. Cassidy puts his hand in his pocket to avoid the arm snap from Penta, which I thought was cool. Then he arm drags him and does some lazy strikes. Destroyer from Cassidy, destroyer from Penta, one more from Cassidy. It was a destroyer fest there, which was a little, like you said, as you like to say, indie-rific.
That's right.
But it was okay. I thought they looked cool at least. Made in Japan for a near fall from Penta, which looked pretty nice. Penta absolutely sticks him with a package pile driver on the apron. Like, that looked gnarly. It
looked crazy.
Killer and a half. Then he rolled him in for another near fall in the ring. Then he did end up snapping Cassie's arm, which is just exactly what Cassie needs to happen at this stage, right? And then he nails him with another package pile driver in the ring for near fall. Just again, it looks amazing. Like, it absolutely looked like he was just trying to kill Cassidy. And like, if it's not personal, it certainly looked personal.
It definitely did.
That's all I'm gonna say. And Penta's kind of stunned from the kick out. Cassidy rolls him up with the crucifix to steal the win again. Which normally in some select cases I might be annoyed, but I think it worked for Cassidy still.
Right.
And at least he sold the arm breaker because I will never forgive Cody for not selling that, okay? I still remember to this day. It was St. Patrick's Day Slam 2021. And it was heel Penta, and that's when he started having Alex around, actually. Mm-hmm. It was that feud with Cody, I remember.
Yep.
I will never forget. It's that and the promo to end racism. That was what a year 2021 was.
It was.
It makes me chuckle every time.
Yeah.
I'll just go over Cassidy's real quick. So he grabbed the mic. He sat in a steel chair. He said he doesn't usually like to talk, but here we are. He says he's tired and his body hurts and the backpack gets heavier with every defense, but he's here and he's defending the title because it means everything to him. He says this title is what AEW is, and it's about putting a person who was told they were too different or not good enough, or like people telling him he was a joke, and making them a star or a champion like he is. He says he'll continue to defend it as long as he wants, and nobody can take it from him. He says Mox better bring more than a fork because he will always be champ because he's freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy, and he does not have a catchphrase.
Yeah.
Which I love that.
Yeah.
And then Mox came down for a standoff, and that is how we close out the show heading into All Out.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. It got a lot of time. Hurt a little bit by there's no way they're moving the title to Penta, right? The Destroyer sequence was a bridge too far for me in terms of if you want to go lots of destroyers, fine, but you can't just hop up from a flipping pile driver, man.
Yeah,
you
that's
can't. But anyways, I could forget it. And I'm not a guy that minds a spot fest, right? But that was a little bit too much for me. Anyways, this just another typical Cassidy match in this title run, and I mean that as a compliment. Really good main event. The fact that the show ended with Mox and Orange Cassidy leads me to believe that that's our main event on All Out, probably, right? And I think you thought that too. You mentioned that to me. So yeah, I thought it was the match of the night. I thought still not like
it was really nice.
Not like a must see, but still I think worth checking out because it was really fun. So overall on this, I thought there weren't any amazing matches, but several solid ones. A couple segments I didn't love. The Acclaimed one, unfortunately, and they got a bit of time. So did Sammy and Jericho, right? Two lengthy things that aren't really that interesting to me, so that hurts a little bit. Again, main event match of the night. I liked the opener with Commander and Mox, and I thought Yuta Kingston was good as well. But again, nothing absolutely amazing, and a couple segments I didn't really love. So I'm going to give this show a B. I thought it was good, but not great.
Yeah, as for the main event, I thought it was pretty strong. I really liked Penta working a little more heel here because I do miss that Penta. I think there's still potential for them to do Penta heel, whether it's Penta Dark done right,
yes,
or just a heel version of Penta. I think they could still do that. It was nice to at least see shades of that here. I thought some near falls towards the end were really well done, despite I assumed Cassidy would just win anyways. But it was thanks in part to just Penta looking like he was trying to kill Cassidy, I think, because those package pile drivers were
and when he does the violent thing, it works for Penta. You just got to let him do it.
When he can do violence, he can do violence. Another segment from Cassidy works here, and I think it makes sense for him to just like barely get at this live. I'm glad Penta got a strong showing here. I also really enjoyed the post-match promo. I feel like it felt like the first legitimate promo from him and easily some of his best work.
He's playing a bit serious, right?
Yeah, and I like it.
Yep.
I like that he finally admitted to really caring about the international title and actually wanting to defend it constantly and keep it. It's a nice evolution to his character, and the fact that he actually has something to care about now, I feel like kind of elevates the title in a way. Because Cassidy doesn't care about anything. Right. So if he cares about this title, it must really mean something.
And not that elevates is the right word because he doesn't need it at all. But with Mox too, right? This is a caliber of opponent where he knows the level of violence and whatever Mox is going to bring. He has to sort of be a little different.
And I really like it. I really like the evolution of Cassidy that like this title reign's brought us to. I think we're approaching the 1 year mark, and I'm okay if he hits a year. I think he's well earned it. I think it helps to make this a bigger deal when he does lose it because we know it'll mean a lot to him, right? And I think that's really awesome. I think Cassidy versus Mox should be a really great match, but I don't think Mox should win the title, and that's coming from a huge Mox fan. I think we can definitely get a little more mileage out of Cassidy as champion. I don't think Mox needs the title at all. I don't think it really would do much for him.
And it's almost like a built-in reward for Cassidy for this run that's been so amazing, right? Like, we'll let you have a win over Mox.
Exactly.
In a big spot.
Exactly. I think we could give the title to someone just as talented who could use the rub more, namely Swerve or Switchblade. Those are my candidates that I'm pushing forward.
You'll hear about that a lot going forward, I think.
And I think, a great feather in his cap would be beating Mox here. So I think that was great. I think overall the show was pretty solid. It was a decent go-home, but it kind of suffered from people not being there. And just from All In. Like, it serves as a fallout and a go-home, which is never a great spot to be in. It's like when in 2020 we just saw in the Thunderdome they had SummerSlam Payback back to back. It doesn't really work. But I thought the opener was solid. What else do we have? I thought the New Japan Strong Open title was pretty solid. The women's match wasn't great, and the main event was really good. Only 4 matches is pretty solid. That was really good. I thought Roddy was really good.
He was fun.
Which is surprising. Sammy and Jericho didn't really love any of that. Didn't care about the women's match. Tony Storm was okay. Bucks and like that segment was alright. And anything Orange Cassidy was really good as well. So I'd give it a B+. I think it was a pretty strong show.
Yep.
But maybe like a little on the lower end.
Fair enough. All right. Well, we're already almost 2.5 hours in, so we got to get moving. We'll do a little bit of trivia here in what we call Off the Top of His Head. All right, so this week I asked AI, and it's kind of funny because it's like they know we're on a time crunch, so they went short for me. I said, can you list the best...
I don't think they're that smart.
The best 15 WWE Payback matches, along with some details from each story leading to each match? It said, sure, but because, basically, to paraphrase, I don't know anything past September of 2021, I only have...
That's fine. That'll be every Payback.
I only have 9 matches for you, it said.
So
there's none.
The last Payback was 2020. Well, there's Payback was like 2013 and 2020, but there was like a gap between, I think, 2017.
Are you saying there wasn't one in 2021?
No. There was, I think it would have been 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, and then 2020.
It's funny you say that because match number 9 on the list of the best is from WWE Payback 2021, and it was a Universal Championship match.
No, it wasn't.
So who was in that match?
Was it Wyatt?
No.
Strowman, Reigns? What else could it possibly be?
They said that this is the establishment of the Tribal Chief.
Clashing. Okay, so then I'm right.
Clashing with the legend.
Who?
John Cena.
No.
Yeah,
that's not right.
How dare you?
I just saw, I was saying, Strowman, Fiend, yes. Roman, and that was A, 2020, B, no John Cena.
And that is actually match number 8. Now, what type of match was that?
What, the one I just said?
The Fiend and Strowman and Reigns.
Triple threat? Or it's like no holds barred or something?
No holds barred, triple threat, correct.
And from 2020.
And the story leading up to it, according to, see if you agree, Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman had been feuding over the Universal Championship, but Roman Reigns made a shocking return.
That's SummerSlam.
And inserted himself into the match. Yes. Okay, number 7.
Yeah, that's sufficient.
Payback 2019.
No.
Universal Championship match.
It would have to be Seth Rollins and someone.
It was?
Lesnar?
AJ Styles.
That would be Money in the Bank.
So this is wrong as well.
It is.
We're back to AI. And it even says at the disclaimer, right? Like, may produce inaccurate information about people, places, or facts. So that doesn't leave much else to not be wrong about.
So, like, that, okay. That's pretty much like, may be wrong about everything.
Don't trust anything. Payback 2018.
No.
Intercontinental triple threat.
No.
Okay, so who do you think's in this fictitious
Rollins?
Match? Yes.
Ziggler?
No.
McIntyre?
Ambrose? Ms. Balor.
That was WrestleMania. Okay.
Oh, nice.
I was trying to think of like an Intercontinental triple threat that would have been that year because I just remember Rollins feuding with Ziggler a lot.
You know what I wonder is if like as it's pulling information from wherever, if it's like someone in that match in the description said something payback, you know what I mean? So and so seeks payback, and then it's like that's a payback match.
Perhaps.
So Payback 2017.
Okay, we're off to a better start.
Doesn't have any. It's just a singles match. Doesn't have any titles or anything attached
Rollins
to it.
and Joe.
Correct.
That's right.
Okay. And it says Joe attacking Rollins and injuring his knee.
Yeah, that was in the, remember, so there was the Triple H feud off of, because remember when Triple H screwed him and Owens won the Universal title?
Yeah.
So that stemmed from that, and then like, I think it was like February or something, Joe debuted on main roster. Remember he attacked Rollins, and remember he put him in the coquina clutch and Rollins' knee bent weird?
Right.
So he redid the first knee injury.
Right.
And then he had the match with Triple H at Mania, and this is kind of off the back of that.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so that's right.
Payback 2015, I Quit match. For the U.S. Championship, if that helps you.
Would it be Cena and Rusev?
It is Cena and Rusev. Sounds they got it right.
I want to double check that because it sounds right, but I don't want to just assume they got something right.
Payback 2014, 6-man tag match. No holds barred, it says.
I actually recorded
you are excited.
it. I actually recorded it because like Payback 2014 was on,
oh my God, you
and
used to watch this all the time.
They were about to get to this match, so I have them just this match recorded. Yeah, it's
it is
Shield and Evolution.
Correct.
I love that. That's one of my favorite main roster matches. It's so good. I love it. Yeah, the Rusev one's right. That match is awesome though.
So they say there's only one match in Payback history better than that one, and it was in 2013 between two people in AEW right now. According to AI, so it could be wrong.
According to AI, they're in AEW.
One of these people you can't stand. No, according to me, they're in AEW. According to AI, they had this match.
Punk and someone?
Correct.
What is it? Punk
and someone else in AEW who is old. Older.
Sting.
Who? No, not that old. Too far.
Punk and Jericho?
Correct.
Really?
Did that happen?
I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar.
2013, they're saying.
I don't.
But anyways,
that really doesn't sound like something that
happened.
Like I don't.
It
sounds like something that could have happened. Yeah, no, it did. That's weird. I've never heard of that. Ever.
So, what you're saying is you don't know anything about wrestling.
That's weird.
I guess is what we learned here today. But anyways, great job. We got to keep moving. So now we'll move into what we liked and didn't like from the rest of the week of wrestling. We call it Highspots and Restholds. And just in the interest of keeping things a bit short, we're not going to talk main roster in Highspots and Restholds because hasn't been worth Jack's time very often. There's not a lot of Highspots happening.
Only thing I saw was kind of thing Nakamura had another promo, but I didn't really see much of it.
Right. So we're going to stick with what I saw, which you watched the first half of NXT with me, or you were in the room. I don't know how much you were paying attention, but we'll see. I put it as a rest hold, not because of the action, but the opening match of the Dyads and the Creeds in a cage for the Creeds reinstatement. The action mostly was fine in this, but a couple of things really bugged me. One, Brutus gets attacked and taken to the back by Gacy, and I refer to them constantly here as the Putties, right? From the Putty Patrol from
Power Rangers.
Yeah, thank you, Power Rangers. And so apparently the match just takes place. So one of the opponents gets abducted on their way to the ring. Nope, have that match anyways. Ring the bell. Let's go.
Yep. I guess it's no DQ, but like still, you think you'd want the match to start normally.
Kind of silly.
I don't know.
So Julius does his best, but obviously numbers game until Brutus returns, remember, and just comedically destroys all the putties and then rips the door off the cage.
That was lame.
Rips the door off the cage, dominates the action for a while. One impressive spot, Julius picked up both Dyads onto his shoulders, like one sitting on each of his shoulders, and then Brutus hit the Brutus ball, and then it was diving.
He also did the thing where he had Gibson in the ankle lock, and he lifted up James Drake with one arm.
He does freakish. Cool. Oh, yeah, he did a one-arm power bomb to Drake.
Yeah, while he was
completely one-arm.
While he was holding Gibson in an ankle lock.
Yeah, so a couple crazy feats of strength by Julius as usual. So they diving clotheslines by each of the Creeds to each of the Dyad, and they win after 13 minutes and get reinstated. Match itself was pretty good, but I just don't like the story of Brutus. It was just very cartoonish, right? Him just one-punching like 15 people on his way to the ring and ripping the door off. So obviously the Creeds were going to win this match. I'm happy to have them back. They're pretty awesome. So then a rest hold. I called it Raw vibes. Remember you had Carmelo Hayes backstage talking to Tony D and Stax.
Oh, yeah.
And then Street Profits show up and Mello leaves, and then like a bleeding from another segment, I guess. 4 women are brawling their way into the frame, and it just felt like a Raw segment, really, really contrived and unnatural and kind of meaningless. Did not like it.
A little bit.
I think you enjoyed it. It was a really quick match. It was only 5 minutes, but it was Charlie Dempsey taking on Butch. Returning. I thought it was interesting just because Dempsey's style continues to just be unique. And
I think it complements Pete Dunne really
well. And the extension he gets in his back, like his back flexibility on some of his suplexes and things.
He needs to face Roddy so he can take him down a peg.
It's like he can bend as far backwards as normal people can forwards almost. And his mat-based offense is really interesting to watch, right? Just different. So Butch ended up winning with the bitter end. Short match. He advances in the Heritage Cup shot tournament.
Kind of advances. It's round robin. So
sorry. No advancement.
Also,
you're right.
I don't know if
round robin.
So I saw Duke Hudson beat Tozawa on Level Up. So they're
happening.
Some of the lower matches on there.
Makes sense. Another rest hold. Dana Brooke and Kalani Jordan took on Electra Lopez and Lola Vice. About what you would expect. 4 minutes here. You have Vice and Lopez win to further the story that Dana Brooke is furious and she's going to turn heel and go bananas, I'm sure, but absolutely nobody cares, so let's move on. I think you were still here for this too. Trick and Mello talking backstage, and again, I like the realism of this.
I think I saw a bit of this as a clip on Instagram, but I don't think I saw the full
thing. So Mello's basically like, he doesn't like people thinking that the idea of people thinking he only beat Dragunov because of Trick's help. So he kind of is showing a bit of depth here, kind of like Hangman, where he's like, you think I can beat Dragunov, right? You believe I can beat him. And Trick says he doesn't, kind of like, but says a few things, but then is like, I don't think so. And then so Mello walks off. And then oddly after he leaves, Trick finishes his thought. He's kind of like, I don't think so. I know you can. But Mello's already gone. So it kind of leaves you wondering where it's going. And also, like,
that's a little weird.
Mello's a little bit complex, right? He's a little bit having some doubts here, even though he's usually supremely confident. He's a little vulnerable. And that makes Dragunov look so strong, right? Because this guy who is ultra confident has now watched enough of Dragunov to be like, can I beat this guy, right? So he's human, and I like that. It's depth, right? Instead of like, nope, I'm the babyface that's never afraid or intimidated or anything. He's got a little bit of depth to him.
I like wanting to get that clean win, too.
Yes. I like the Dijak Eddie Thorpe match here. It was short, but physical. Dijak won with the discus boot he's using as a finisher now instead of Feast Your Eyes. At one point, he threw Thorpe like over the table into an announce chair. It looked pretty good. And so he won by Dijak, that is, bringing in a chair. The ref's going to get rid of it. Dijak's on the floor, quickly wraps his hand in a belt, and then punches Thorpe and hits his finishing kick. So a kind of, I guess, a quality win for Dijak here, quote unquote, and a bit of protection for Thorpe because of the cheap finish, because I don't know if they quite know where they want Thorpe positioned yet, so they protected him slightly here. Resthold. Remember the Humberto Carrillo and Angel Garza stuff where
yes,
I liked it until it was like
they started getting a little weird.
They had the same dream. Like, why did you have to go to that? So they used it here. So now Humberto comes over to Garza's house because you don't text anyone or anything. You would just show up at their house.
I mean,
right?
They were texting though. So
right. And it's they had the same dream basically about their grandfather, and now they have claw marks across their chest. So this is what's bugging me. It's like Freddy Krueger in a dream has attacked them.
They're the Mexican wolves. They're like the American wolves because they had those.
Remember the wolves? Yeah.
But they're
similar to that.
They're Hispanic wolves or something like that.
So they'll return to NXT next week and start from scratch. And I'm happy they're staying as a team. I think they could do really well. But the Freddy Krueger, like, we got attacked in our dreams together, like separately had the same dream and had the same physical things happen to us is silliness. Okay. Bray Wyatt tribute, really nice. Same one they did on Raw and SmackDown, as far as I know. Obviously, the editing department and stuff at WWE is fantastic, and when they really do nice work, right?
Mm-hmm.
I like Joe Coffey, Nathan Fraser, another of the round robin matches. Obviously, the style dynamic here is Fraser's trying to go as fast as possible. Coffey's trying to slow things down, and it kind of worked for me. Fraser missed a Phoenix Splash. Coffey hit whatever the finishing clothesline. It's got a name. I can never remember what it is. Something far too long for a move. So he wins. Joe Coffey wins after 10 minutes. Pretty good match. Something I'm not that interested in, even though, excuse me, I do like the evolution of Thea Hale, right? Because they've seen, okay, she can be perky, energetic, and let's see what else she can do. I get what they're doing. So it's this one. She's late for her class at Chase U, basically shows up after it's over. And then she's basically, I don't know if he's expecting her to make up the time or whatever, but she's like, no, I have plans to go out. And did you see who shows up at the door? It's JC Jane. So Thea Hale is being partnered up with JC Jane, at least for this segment. We'll see where it goes. Not a fan.
I hope they don't get... Imagine, what if someone takes pictures of them partying and doing party
Crazy.
Things? That is dangerous.
That's a danger to your career.
It's bad.
The main event I thought was solid. It was Kiana James, Roxanne Perez, Blair Davenport, not Lindsay Davenport. Every time still I have to focus. Gigi Dolan for the next contender for Tiffany Stratton.
I saw the winner of this. I thought it was really weird.
Was strange. So James hits a moonsault off the barricade. Looked kind of good. Dolan's at the bottom of a Tower of Doom spot. We get a nice pop rocks to Dolan on the floor. We get another pop rocks to Davenport in the ring, but the momentum, and I think Davenport just ring savvy rolls out of the ring. Perez does a good job of looking like intensely frustrated because she would have had the pin there. So then James kind of gets in the ring as this is happening, DDTs Perez, and then hits her like one-legged, the modified code breaker to Gigi Dolan. And yeah, it's Kiana James is the winner here after 12 minutes.
She's a heel, yes?
Exactly. So my point is, I wasn't expecting James to win. The match was pretty good, had its moments. And I'm wondering if this means that Stratton is going to start leaning babyface.
Why?
Because the crowd cheers for her when she's just doing I'm arrogant, cocky. The crowd kind of likes it. And again, she's young. Maybe they just want to see, right? They want to see what they have in Thea Hale in different characters and different temperaments. They want to see what they have with Stratton. So I don't know. Perhaps. I could be wrong, but because James is solidly a heel, like even heel promos on this show.
Yeah,
so it's not her.
That's why I thought it was really weird.
So I'm wondering if they're going to experiment with a Stratton babyface. That's my expectation. All right, Impact, really fast. I actually got you to watch one thing on Impact, which led to you watching two things. So
what else? Oh,
just because it was attached to the beginning of it, right?
Right.
The opening women's battle royal was not a fan. Really basic battle royal, kind of the stuff you don't like. And also, you were laughing at me because you knew who the winner was, but didn't tell me. And it's my favorite. Alicia won after.
I laughed so hard when I figured out who won.
And it was awesome. The classic. Everyone forgot about her, right? So it came down to Kylan King.
Even better, right?
Right. Came down to Kylan King and Jody Threat, and actually that was some of the best action in this match. And then, of course, Alicia comes in.
The former tag partners.
And flips them both over the rope and wins. Nothing really exciting. So that being said, I thought a high spot after that, She's back. Alicia's backstage with Eddie Edwards, and it might be the best promo I've seen her give. So she's still kind of fired up and whatever. She's excited she won the Battle Royal. She sends a warning to Trinity. She says that she and Eddie are the real power couple, and it was short. But somehow her being fired up, she had some edge to her. Like even in the middle, she went, right? And I quite enjoyed that. She has no shot of beating Trinity, I don't think, but maybe she can tap into this heel character and do something differently than when she has been a heel in the past, right? Her in-ring work is still weak, but this was something. Highspot, this is what I wanted you to watch, right? Crazy Steve, Mike Bailey.
Oh, this was interesting.
So new look and entrance for Steve with a bit of a Fiend vibe to it. Obviously scaled back.
I can see that. I really loved his mask.
He looks like he's put on some size. His mask is really creepy looking.
That reminds me of the Fiend. Just
it's got like no color to it, right? It's just like
I appreciate a good mask, you know.
And the way he takes it off too is like he grabs like the bottom jaw, top jaw, and like rips it apart on his own face. Looks cool.
That one thing I saw from a horror movie. I don't remember what it was called, but
it's very horror film-ish stuff.
I forget what it was called too, but anyways, that was really cool, and I appreciate a good mask. Not like. I mean, obviously, I appreciate a good lucha mask, but I appreciate a good mask in wrestling when it's not that.
It looked cool.
If Kane's got a really cool mask, or obviously the Fiend mask is really cool, and like the Burnt Fiend was stupid, but that mask is insane, just like from a technical standpoint. Right. And I think Crazy Steve's was really cool too.
And I thought Hannafan was really good on commentary because he's acting rattled and apprehensive about even being near Steve. Because at the end of their sit-down interview, things obviously went crazy and Steve snapped. So Hannafan is like rattled here, and it's good because it's actually to the point where the other dude, whose name I always forget, Ray Walt, he's doing more of the play-by-play because Hannafan, or not play-by-play, or calling the action when I say get into it, because Hannafan's rattled. So the bell rings, Steve immediately basically gets DQ'd because he shoves Bailey back into a corner and immediately is trying to like go after Bailey's eyes, and he won't break the hold. DQ is called. He pulls a fork out of his boot and goes after Bailey's eyes while screaming.
He's forking him.
I want your eyes, Mike. Right? And I thought it was awesome. Bailey narrowly escapes. Black Taurus shows up, used to be Steve's partner, tries to talk some sense into him. Steve attacks him, is going after Taurus's eyes as well. Security come out. Steve takes one of them down and goes after his eyes, so none of the other security people want to get near him because he's trying to rip people's eyes out. And basically, he's like foaming at the mouth almost, right, as he's backing.
He's like,
he's
got like drool or whatever. It almost reminds me of Sami Callihan.
Yeah, I thought
he used to do that.
He did. I thought this was really cool, and the fact that they spent 3 episodes building his backstory and his reasons for his actions, which you can almost believe, and then we get a payoff, right? Instead of just like he shows up like this and they offer no explanation. The fact that they built for 3 weeks that this guy snapped, and if you hear his backstory, like alcoholic parents, suicidal mom, legally blind, every faction he's ever been in has turned on him. Like, you're like, this could happen to him, right? So one of the lines from the interview was, what did I tell you it was? If I can't be the antidote, then I may as well be the plague.
It's an interesting
something
line,
like that.
For sure.
I thought it was cool, and it'll actually get me interested to keep watching Impact, because I've been kind of like, am I going to keep it up? There's not a lot happening, but
it's something
really
to
fun.
Watch, right?
I would check it out if it interests anyone. I thought Josh Alexander, he kind of had a good spot where he's backstage admitting to the Machine Guns. He's apologizing them to that he got distracted by Macklin, and it kind of played into their loss at the pay-per-view. Shelley then kind of gets defensive because Alexander's saying he hasn't forgotten about getting his title back, right? And so Shelley's like daring him, like, call me a transitional champion. And then the Rascals interrupt, and it leads to Wentz and Sabin making a match. So I kind of like what Shelley's doing, where he thinks nobody really respects him as a champion still, and he's got like a chip on his shoulder.
I could see that being true for some people in some, in some respect. I could see some people still thinking that.
Because there has been a bit of that, I think.
Yeah.
And it...
Because it's still weird. It's honestly, like, even for me, like, to the point where it's surprising he's still a champion.
And the Guns, as great as they are, sometimes struggle with having a bit of edge to them. So I think that's helping Shelley here. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Resthold PCO Bully Ray stuff continues. I'm not even going to bother really talking about it. Just know it's bad, and there's no end in sight. Something about Bully Ray wanting to kill the monster and bring back Carl. Like, he's slamming his arm, trying to stop PCO from getting through a door, and his arm sticking through. And he's
Carl
like,
Ouellet.
I'm not right, exactly. So,
Shelley's 40. That's not horrible.
Yeah, no. Resthold, Eric Young, and Khan. my line is as fresh as a week-old donut and 9 minutes for some reason.
As fresh as nice.
Better than I expected, but still not great because it has Khan in it, and he's just incredibly consistently boring to watch wrestle. He kicked out of a pile driver, basically was like, ask for another, finish me, got it, and lost. Cool. And then my question, do too many people use entrance masks now? Because I thought Eric Young coming out in his kind of diminishes Steve coming out in his.
Well, and it doesn't even make sense because I know Eric Young did that when he was doing the heel vinyl by design. I think it made more sense then.
And now he's back to another hockey mask. He went to like a...
Balor always does that at a pay-per-view now.
Yeah.
I could see what you're saying.
And Andrade has one, right? That suddenly is super important.
Yeah, I was going to say. His is more important, though.
Leo Rush had a pre-recorded promo that I thought was pretty good, basically calling out Sabin, saying that Sabin shook by it, and why would you take a match with Wentz, kind of thing. I just think Leo's really confident and comfortable on the mic and just sounds good.
I liked him. He was good with last week, but he also had a solid NXT cruiser run.
Yep. Quick Jordan Grace segment. She's coming back and she is jacked, including having her completely topless, only from the back doing pull-ups. And she's next level, man. So really like Jordan Grace. Glad she's still around. High spot, Wentz and Sabin had a really good, as you would expect, 9-minute match. Sabin won with the cradle shock. Miguel tried to get involved. Shelley was there to stop him. After the bell, Miguel attacks Sabin. Shelley comes down to make the save. So pretty much exactly what you'd expect if you gave those 2 9 minutes, and that's good. Just a quick mention. I really like the tag team division right now. So think about it. You got Bay and Austin, which I really like.
AK Bullet Club.
Machine Guns, really good. They still do some tag stuff.
Yep.
Good Hands, really like them. Rascals annoy me, but really good in ring. Swan and Callahan, I kind of like as a tag team. Joya are kind of interesting. And Subculture, when they're there, are a good team. So that's like 7 quality tag teams for me. So that's pretty solid.
It's not bad.
Resthold, Dreamer, Kenny King. Really lengthy segment with King kind of insulting Dreamer for changing and not being the guy Kenny looked up to. Dreamer, I think it was something about King left Emergence before the main event and how that's like a major no-no sort of thing. And kind of like, I would have never done that, so I don't want to be your mentor, whatever. It's not like Dreamer's doing a good job, but it's the payoff is a match, title versus career.
So guess what's happening?
I just don't care. And Dreamer's done so many of these emotional promos over meaningless stuff that it's starting to sort of lose its effect. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But anyways, I thought the main event.
Like he did something like that with Bully Ray.
Yeah, he does it all the time. And he's not bad at it. It's just, it's one more time and the payoff's a match. And I don't want to see you wrestle anymore. No offense. Then the main event I thought was pretty fun. It was Jake Something, Sonata, and Kaz taking on Moose, Myers, and Edwards. Sonata actually sold a lot of this and was in peril. And it kind of, they were trying to make Jake look good, I think. He ended up picking up the win. He countered the roster cut into a black hole slam for the win.
I did catch the finish, just I
after 10 minutes.
To scroll by it.
Good action. I don't feel like it really mattered, but I'm happy Jake Something's getting attention. All right, so we flew through that. Do you want to fly through predictions still? You got time before work?
Sure.
All right, so we'll take you into another extra segment right now where we make some predictions for Payback
and All Out
and AEW All Out. All right, it's one of the times where I've put almost zero thought into this, so let's go. Because I've been losing anyways, so why not go back to my old ways and just
you suck
on the fly. So hit me. What are we doing? Payback first, I guess, because it's today?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm hoping to go. I was hoping to sweep, but I don't think I'll sweep.
I haven't won in a while. You've
ambitious.
Been beating me consistently, I feel like.
I think so. I don't know, actually. I don't know.
All right,
I think I forgot to tally the last one or so. Anyways, so for Payback, we have, I feel like this is kind of a lackluster one. It's one of the B shows in terms of pay-per-views.
Yep. I agree. It feels like it.
LA Knight versus The Miz. I took LA Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
No way Miz needs a win here. It only served to knock Knight down, and like there's just nothing to gain from a Miz win.
And they seem to actually be realizing, hey, people like LA Knight, we should probably push LA Knight.
Probably do that.
Even though they hate to do that if it's Vince, it'd be killing his soul. But if he's not around, they'll do it. So it's LA Knight.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. Next, we have Mysterio versus Austin Theory for the United States Championship. I took Mysterio because I feel like if Theory just regains the title again, he kind of reverts back to...
He has both of their figures in his hands right now, people.
He reverts back just being like the mid-heel champ. He's been only... I don't mean mid-card heel. I mean mid. Like, he's just been kind of mid the whole year. And I feel like we can let Ray keep the title a little. I mean, I don't love how he won it, but I think he can keep it a bit, drop it to someone fresh who could use it, like
his own son. Or that's where I feel this is going.
They're on different rosters.
Yeah, for now.
I guess.
You give Ray a decent little run, and then all of a sudden, Dom comes back.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, I was thinking like LA Knight or even Escobar, maybe Waller. I think we got options, and I think Theory should go back to the drawing board. So I'm gonna take Mysterio. I think hot potatoing is just stupid.
I take Ray too because I honestly think this might be them seeing how Dom does with the belt, and then if it goes well, which it has been kind of, they try something similar on main roster. And it's a built-in hot feud with Daddy again.
Mm-hmm. Becky versus Trish in a cage. I took Becky because let's just let this end because who cares?
And Becky should not be losing to Trish Stratus in 2023. No offense.
Exactly.
I'm pretty consistent on these. Like, if you're bringing back the extreme veterans, they're there to put people over.
Yep.
And if it's in a cage, apparently
Granted, I don't know why Becky would need it, but...
And a cage should be a blow-off to the feud, so Becky should win.
Yeah, exactly what I'm thinking. Because then no Zoe Stark. Honestly, why can't we have a Becky Zoe feud? Why do we need Trish?
That would be way more interesting.
A waste of space, yeah. Ripley versus Raquel Rodriguez for the Women's World Championship.
Ripley.
I also took Ripley. I don't think Raquel's been built well enough to be the one to knock Ripley off the throne here. However, I think a strong match could make her a worthy player in the title scene in the future, and she could maybe get another crack down the line, but I don't think that's right now.
And it just feels like Judgment Day is.
It feels like Judgment Day is kind of.
They're going, like, can we make this the new Bloodline thing? Possibly, obviously not. But
no, I think if this was the Raquel of NXT days, the strong Raquel Gonzalez that we really enjoyed, maybe I'd be picking her. But she's not. So
she is not, and
even down to her theme.
Ripley's actually on such a roll right now. Right?
On my wrestling playlist, I really still enjoy the Raquel Gonzalez theme.
Nice.
It's just like I don't know, it fits and I like it because it feels like a men's theme. Right. And I mean that in a nice way because usually the women's themes, like the one Raquel has now, they're all like whatever, and they suck.
Right.
Like Ripley's is good because, again, it feels like just like that could be a theme for anybody.
Right.
But like, I don't know. Anyways, yes. Raquel's a shadow of her former self, and Ripley retains, at least for now. I think Raquel could be someone great in the future, but they need to kind of change her back.
Yep.
You know? Zayn and Owens versus Judgment Day, this time Balor and Priest for the Undisputed Tag titles. I took Zayn and Owens, of course, because I think despite... So on Raw, Ripley threatened consequences if the Judgment Day loses. Like, she was like, if the Judgment Day don't all walk out with gold, blah, 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 something.
Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. You might be convincing me.
I think the Judgment Day losing is the only logical outcome here. I think Zayn and Owens' run still needs a shot up the arm. I think, like,
Is this the way they get JD in instead of Balor or something, possibly?
I'll get there.
Okay.
I think Zayn and Owens' run, I feel like it hasn't shot up the tag division the way they've hoped. And to be fair, I think it's because they're not trying enough.
They don't focus on any other teams, really.
I think Imperium's been made to look like a joke when Imperium could be such a great tag
Correct.
team. So I think Zayn and Owens need to keep the titles, and we need to start putting some effort in the division. That's a whole other thing. I don't know if they will, but I'm just saying they should. And I hopefully they can elevate the division. I feel like the Judgment Day it doesn't feel like the team to beat them because they have plenty of other things going on right now within their own orbit.
Right.
And with the rumors of Priest being the one who will leave the group, obviously to embark on the solo run that is promised with the Money in the Bank contract, I think them losing makes sense, and maybe you put McDonough in his place. So I'm going to take the babyface.
I was willing to take Judgment Day, but then I started thinking about that same thing with McDonough trying to find a way in, and then I didn't know the detail of Ripley threatening that, so that I'm going to convert to your side. I was going to pick against you, but you talked me into it.
All right, I'll take that. That's interesting. But yeah, I just think, and I hope JD McDonough gets in because I love JD
We do
McDonough.
Enjoy him.
He's
down
awesome.
Here in this basement.
Finally, for Payback, we have Rollins versus Nakamura for the World Heavyweight title. I really love what they've done with Nakamura in the build to this. It's been short, but I really love it. I think the 2 promo packages he's had were fantastic.
Right.
And actually establish him as a credible threat for once. The storyline with Seth's back should be... hopefully be interesting in the match. However, I don't really think Nak will take it here. I'd be totally okay with being wrong, but I think Seth retains at least for now. I think at the very least this needs to serve as their opportunity to make Nakamura look like a killer and look like a threat, and like even in defeat can keep him looking strong, so that because I think they they don't like doing one and dones at PLE. So I think they could totally run this back. I think the next one might be Fastlane.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they could totally run it back again, and then maybe Nakamura gets another. I think this is a test run for Nakamura, or it could be a test run for Nakamura back in the top title picture. And if they make him look good, I think he can get another shot. But I'm not picking him yet.
Okay,
I'd like to, but not yet.
We've picked everything the same to this point. Is that correct?
Let's see. Yep.
So I'll take Knack.
Oof, that's risky.
I know, but I don't want to be like, there's no chance any of us win. So and honestly, I'm hopeful because I'm like you. I'm kind of cool either result.
I do hope he wins. Yes.
So I'm hoping that I'll take Knack.
I would like Nakamura winning more than I would like Balor winning, because I feel like yes, Balor hasn't really gotten a world title run yet, but he kind of got that really awesome NXT run again, and Nakamura kind of floundered in the meantime.
I don't want to guarantee a tie, so I'll take Nakamura.
All right, that's fair.
I was thinking about it anyways, and then that's the only difference. I'll take him.
We move into All Out, and as I was saying, hopefully it doesn't.
I don't even know if I know this whole card.
I wouldn't be surprised if you didn't. I hope this doesn't become Brawl Out too, but he's not on the card, so it's a Chicago.
He's gonna have to find something to do.
In Chicago, and he's not there.
He'll be there eating muffins.
No, ice cream bars.
I never thought I'd say this, but maybe a guy who's straight edge should look into some sort of medication. Maybe that's part of the issue, right? Is he does need something to relax a little bit.
Maybe.
Right?
Maybe. It's interesting.
Can't believe I would recommend somebody try a substance, but
interesting thought.
Yeah.
First up, why is this on a pay-per-view? I don't know. Miro versus Powerhouse Hobbs. No disrespect to either of them, but that's not a pay-per-view match.
That's not that easy to pick either.
So I'm not super on this because it's been a Collision thing and all. It just really feels like it should be on Collision. Like this should be on tonight instead of All Out. I'm gonna take Miro because I don't see Hobbs getting here. It's been a real fall from grace from his TNT champ days. He's with QTV. You can't tell me he's beating Miro. And Miro really hasn't done much. I think it has to be Miro.
I agree. I think they feel like they tried with Hobbs, even though I don't necessarily agree.
Disagree. I feel like they tried with Miro, and he kind of fell off.
But Miro's back, and they're not going to start him off with a loss, so I think it's Miro as well. Okay. I mean, that's a very similar styles match, right?
Yeah.
Like
it could be a decent Haas fight, but I just don't really think it belongs here.
Right.
Speaking of a Haas fight that doesn't belong here, Samoa Joe and Shane Taylor for the ROH Television Championship. Now, I don't think this is evident of them kind of putting all of it, going all in on All In, and then All Out gets the scraps. Because the fact that the ROH TV title, not even the world title, but the TV title makes it to an AEW pay-per-view, there's a bit of a disconnect there for me. You know what I mean? Like, Joe's been he was on Full Gear last year in the 3 with Hobbs and Wardlow, but he wasn't defending his title. He was going for the TNT title. You know what I mean? So anyways, my point is it feels weird. I feel like Taylor's a slight chance just because Joe's had the TV title for so long, but I feel like they would save building. Like, I feel like if they were going to build Taylor to win the TV title, I feel like they would build it for an ROH pay-per-view so that people would want to tune into that.
And this will be the, impressive showing, get on the radar for people that may not have seen you.
I feel like it's Taylor getting on the radar.
Shane Taylor. Because this could be like a show stealing, depending how this goes.
It's probably one of the biggest spots for Taylor, right?
Right? So I think it's Joe as well.
I'm going to take Joe,
but I'm really hoping that Taylor gets some attention coming out of this because I love the guy.
That'd be nice. Another weird card addition, here we go, is Eddie Kingston and Katsuyori Shibata, versus Blackpool Combat Club, represented by Claudio and Yuta. This one's another weird addition to me, but at least it's kind of feud-tied in some capacity. I feel like Blackpool aren't winning both matches tonight, so I could see them kind of using some shenanigans to get one up on Eddie and piss him off further. So I'm going to take... I feel like it's a bit of a gamble, but I feel like this one's so random it can go either way. So I'm going to take Blackpool.
My initial thoughts were Blackpool, but I want something different. So
depends if you disagree on anything else, but I don't know about that.
I don't know. Shibata and Eddie.
I feel like they could change. Eddie could take the fall because I don't think you need to pinch.
Yeah, I'll take Blackpool. My instincts are Blackpool.
That's what I was thinking.
And I don't know if they can always be like Shibata and Eddie aren't really a team, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
I do like that though. I like Shibata.
Yep, me too. Shibata's awesome.
Statlander versus Soho for the TBS title. What? That match exists? I took Statlander because we are not giving the Outcasts another title run. I'll be damned if they get another title run this year, okay? 2 is enough.
And it's not
like stops now.
And I don't think they'll be impressed with Statlander's run, and they'll want to cut it short because they did this with Jade forever. So
yeah, so I
agree.
I'm putting my foot down. They're not doing this again.
No, Stat's not losing yet, and there's no reason to believe that Soho's been built.
Soho's not really she's been doing like the least out of the 3 now that they've had, like, because now they're Storm and Saraya have issues. Like, Soho's kind of the odd one out.
Yep.
Next we get, again, just showing the lack of depth in the card, is that Cole and MJF are here, but they're defending against the Dark Orders, Silver and Reynolds for the ROH tag titles. Again, when 2 ROH like the mid card belts are going on, it's a bit of a weird thing for me. But I'm taking Cole and MJF because if Aussie Open can beat them, nobody can. Plus, Silver and Reynolds feel a little random. I love them, but I just don't see them getting the win here, especially because it's been a week since they won the titles.
I'll take Dark Order.
What?
I think that there's going to be something, or could be, not that there will be. I also want to switch it up. But that what if, like, there's something that could lead to further, was this an intentional whatever or not?
That's what they should have done with Aussie
cost
Open.
Them a match, because Dark Order's actually on Ring of Honor. So, and maybe it's their time to get a little bit of recognition for something, and that'd be a huge feather in their cap, and it can be worked in as furthering of the story for Cole and MJF. Like, I don't think it's going to happen, but I'll take Dark Order.
I think they should have done what you're saying with Aussie Open, and we're never here in the first place.
Maybe.
And I think this is why you don't win anymore.
I try to get too cute with it, eh?
I do that sometimes, but
for posterity, I'll take it.
All right, okay. I mean, I'll take the win. Next, we got Luchasaurus versus Darby Allin for the TNT title. On paper, I'm very interested in this, because Darby will die.
Yes.
And that will be interesting.
It seems like
I'm going to take Luchasaurus because Darby hasn't really done much lately, and I would like for him to wrap up the thing with Swerve rather than focus on another TNT title run that I don't think he really needs currently. Mm-hmm. And I think Luchasaurus has a monster champion with Christian parading around with the belt. Mm-hmm. Is far better for the time being because that's just funny.
Yeah, it'd be weird for him to take a loss, though, and against Luchasaurus, but I do kind of think that's what's going to happen here. I think
Darby can take losses.
He only wins with Sting, right? He's only guaranteed wins with Sting.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I think Luchasaurus is it doesn't feel like a time for Allin to have that title right now, and I think Christian's kind of doing something interesting with it, and I don't think they're going to stop yet.
Yeah, agreed. Next, we get FTR and the Bucks versus Bullet Club Gold. I took a slight risk here.
Should be crazy.
I think with the Bucks being kind of hot-head after the All In match and not shaking hands with FTR, I think we could run with that here. I think we could kind of go with that a little. I think we give Bullet Club Gold. Gang. I got it right. Yeah. I think we get them a quality win here because they are a fantastic unit, and I think we can have them pin the Bucks. Then the Bucks will get more heated. They could agree. This could spur more issues with FTR or in general, and I think we give Bang Bang Gang the win.
And I just think it elevates them further to that level, and they are in the tag team contention. Oh my God,
give them the trios belts.
So I will also take Bang Bang Gang there.
I'm going to write Bang Bang Gang. I think you give like Juice and the Guns the trios belts and then give Switchblade the international title. Mm-hmm. Boom. Or give Swerve the international title. That's cool too. Mm-hmm. I'm good with either. Kenny Omega versus Konosuke Takeshita.
This could be also like
it could be so
show
good.
Stealer.
It could be so good.
Who wins?
As much as I'd like Takeshita to win, I feel like it has to be Omega here. Eventually, he's got to get some semblance of payback against Callis and Takeshita at some point. So as long as we get a really great competitive match, I think it's a win-win, and I think an Omega win makes sense. And I think we can kind of start to wrap this up, and then Takeshita can start to go on the rise. Didn't Takeshita just get the
pin too?
Exactly, yeah. So I think this would be kind of Omega can get that payback finally, because eventually it's got to come, right?
I think you're right. Maybe Callis inadvertently cost Takeshita to protect Takeshita something, but I think Omega picks up a singles win.
Can go on the rise after this.
Yep. Yeah,
finally.
And hopefully just an awesome 25-minute match.
I'm really hoping for a nice belter there.
Main event?
Main event, what I would think is the main event is, and honestly, somewhat deserving, dare I say, Orange Cassidy versus Jon Moxley for the AEW International Championship. I think main eventing a pay-per-view would be really cool for Cassidy.
Yep.
And deserved at this point. I've seen people saying, or like some people predicting Mox will win here, but I don't think so. I love Mox. He's one of my favorites of all time and probably my all-time favorite in AEW, at the very least. But that being said, I think Cassidy really deserves the win here. He's been on an epic run, one that's really won me over, and I think you can say the same.
Yes.
And a win over someone like Mox would be big for him. Not saying like he really needs to elevate him, but like it would just be a nice feather in his cap, kind of like the Osprey Jericho thing.
Like, hey, thanks, man, for wrestling every week.
In killing it.
Yeah.
Like time and time again
this as a career booster.
He's just been going from strength to strength, and I think this would keep him on that roll. And with Cassidy admitting the title means something to him, I think he should score a big win here just to really earn that, and then we can elevate someone who isn't a top guy like Mox is, because Mox is awesome. But he does not need this title right now. And Cassie dropping the belt will be such a big deal when it happens. I think it can really elevate someone who needs to kind of move up to the next level. And I think it'll do wonders for that person. And Mox doesn't really need it. He doesn't need the rub. So I think Cassie retains. But I'm looking forward to the match.
I think so too. I think not super confident because obviously Mox could win any match that he's in. But I think so too. And that with... it really drives home how important the title is to Cassidy, and he can keep rolling a bit after this. So I'll take Orange Cassidy.
I'm kind of feeling about that like the same way I did with Aussie Open in the pre-show match. I feel like there's one where like I really want to happen, and the other one like I feel like Mox is the MJF and Cole here, where like he's one of my favorites, like Cole is, but I'll be a little disappointed if he wins.
Yep.
You know?
Agreed.
I'm really pulling for Cassie there, which is weird because, again, Moxley's my boy.
But that's a testament to good storytelling, right?
I love Cassie this year, and I think he deserves to keep going.
Yeah, he could be a like wrestler of the year contender. Right,
I think at this point it goes to MJF, but I think Cassidy
is a nominee.
Is super close.
Kind of like Dax was in there. For
because Cassidy, I think the first chunk of the year, maybe first half, Cassidy was giving MJF a run for his money. Dare I say, he was the front runner
every week basically.
But I think MJF with the storyline with Cole, I think and his matches
have been crazy.
Have been great. I think he's really put himself above everyone. However, Cassie deserves his flowers, and he's definitely in the conversation, which is crazy.
All right, well, let's get to our final segment as we're over 3 hours already, where Jack updates us from the world of wrestling figures and whatnot, and that's called Figuring It Out with Jack.
I gotta get that.
All right, tell me what you have and what you gotta get here.
What the...
Because you got to get to work, fella. So
I was just looking at, there's like showing some packaging mock-ups for the Death Triangle 3-pack, and then also the Malachi Black thing. Like, that's the packaging. That's really cool.
Ooh, that is cool.
And then the Death Triangle one, it's like, it's got that logo we like with the 3 skulls. That's the front of it.
Nice.
That's nice. Anyways, I won't talk about those. Are the ROH figures. Those aren't much. But there is a lot. They did some all-out reveals for AEW, and then WWE had a random stream of things, too. I don't know if it's in competition, but I would not be surprised. Just because you know how they be. They be doing stuff like that. Okay. So there was this like weird main event Superstars 3-pack. It was like, let me see if I can find it. But it was just like it's a 3-pack. It's exclusive to some little stores. I want to say like maybe UK or something. It's just this. It's like Roman, Cena, and Rock all in T-shirts. It's the old style basics too, so it's nothing interesting. But whatever. That's all. That is all. Whatever. There was new Legends figures too. The new packaging actually looks really nice. It's like the Defining Moments shape, like the Cody I got, but Legends. You can see how your boy looks in that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like it though. It looks nice. It's just look how cramped Andre looks though.
That's kind of funny.
It is funny. Anyway, so WWE had some nice stuff. I'll go through. So there's just some like they put up some pre-orders for lineups. There was the WrestleMania 40 basics, which is Rollins from Mania 38, which is the Cody's return match. Batista from 35, which is the match with Triple H with the chain and the nose thing. Roman from 39, which is Cody. You're remembering the nose thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Muhammad Ali in the ref gear, which they just made the Ultimate of for San Diego Comic-Con. So those are all fine. I think that Rollins should have been an Elite because his ring gears are really cool. So I think it should have been an Elite, especially because I think the Mania Elites are lackluster. I'll get to that in a second. But these should be the new basics. So I still always like, if there's like a Rollins figure, like I still always want it to be an Elite, of course. But the basics won't be a complete waste of time now,
I guess.
So that's good,
true.
actually.
That helps.
Yeah, they are actually, like, they'll be useful. So the WrestleMania 40 Elites are Trish Stratus from Mania 27, the Snooki match, as we like to call it. Pat McAfee from 38 in his match with Theory, and I guess also technically his match with Vince McMahon.
Right.
As well as Rock and Cena from the Once in a Lifetime match. So I was saying,
that happened more than once.
Yeah. I would have replaced Trish or Pat, preferably Trish, because I guess at least Pat's current. Mm-hmm. I would replace the Trish with the Rollins, and that would have been really cool. But the Build-A-Figure, remember, is Child Nicholas Cone from WrestleMania 34.
I remember.
So that is pretty funny. We have Survivor Series 2023 leads up for Peter. We have Shawn Michaels 2002 with the soccer mom haircut from the Elimination Chamber match. And it's the weird brown tights gear, because I don't know if you remember, but in this, it was like he had unfinished tights and he had these weird ugly cowboy boots on.
Don't remember.
It was like these weird ugly like dark brown tights because they were unfinished and he wore them anyways. And
his wardrobe choices are always pretty questionable.
Yeah, but this is ring gear though.
Yeah, and that's usually where he's on point.
People always bagged on it because it's not good because it's unfinished. Like I said. Charlotte Flair from 2022, think no, sorry, that would be 2021 actually. If I'm sorry, I gotta edit that 2021, because that was that match with Becky. Remember Becky wore the WandaVision gear, and I think it's that match. And I remember I think you thought it was solid, but remember that show was horrible because it was just boring.
Oh yeah.
It's one of those times where the Survivor Series just doesn't hit.
Oh, yeah, it was bad.
Kevin Owens from the same year, 2021, like with a red shirt is nice. And Jerry Lawler, 1993, which I feel like was probably when he was feuding with Brett. And the Build-A-Figure is British Bulldog in jeans from 1999.
Of course.
Which is pretty funny choice. Basic 142 is up for pre-order. We have Charlotte Flair, Undertaker, Hulk Hogan, which I think is a promo gear.
Yay!
Say yay again because it's top dollar.
Yay!
Hoo-hada, nada. And a third yay for Honky Tonk Man.
For sure.
Double yay because he's the chase. I think one's blue and one's red. Again, new basics here, so those will be at least better than usual. Final, like, just the pre-order rounds we have is the Greatest Hits Series 3. Those elites we have Seth Rollins, which is a re-release of the Elite 33 Shield figure, which, again, should have been White Rollins. This is the second time in a row. They had 2 Greatest Hits series where Seth Rollins is in it, and it's not the White Rollins. They did the Money in the Bank Rollins last year, or last series, and now it's the Shield one. This is whatever. I have that Shield 3-pack, remember? It's basically a re-release of that figure. There's R-Truth from Elite 10. These are all just like the same figures, but with obviously updated technology and whatever. Natural Disasters, the Then Now Forever elites. Remember we used to see those in Walmart?
Yep.
Those ones.
All the time.
R.I.P. Bray Wyatt's getting one here. It's the modified version of an unreleased elite that he had. It was supposed to be an Ultimate Deletion 2-pack with him and Matt Hardy, with the Mower of Lawns, Dilapidated Boat, and Vanguard 1, but never came to be. They released the Matt Hardy, though, with the boat. Brutus Beefcake, I think from the Dream Team. With Valentine, I think it was, right? Elite Legends 10. Roddy Piper, the John Nada one, the Hollywood Elite.
Oh, yeah.
That one. And then Scorpion King Brock, which is weird. Then there's Elite 105, which has Dominic Mysterio from, like, early Judgment Day. I looked at it, and it's like, the attire is from, like, just after he turned. Like, it's a fresh Dom. Because I remember he had, like, the slick back hair, and he looked really weird in the Judgment Day at first. I think now with the facial hair or whatever, he's kind of grown into it, but that's weird. We have Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner in the red, which is fine, I guess. I don't really care about him. EO Sky in the Damage Control. I don't know if I show you the EO yet, but it looks really nice. I really like it, actually.
It does look good.
I really like it. What is next? Sorry, Johnny Gargano ends return gear. I noticed in this one there's a lot of post-Triple H returns in this series. It's really weird, but I like the Johnny Gargano. It's nice. Another one from the post-Triple H era is Braun Strowman in the red as well. He's got a new torso, which is really nice. And then finally, we have our boy Carmelo Hayes finally getting a figure in the line. I showed you.
That's what I thought of because you showed me.
They look kind of off.
Did you get it at
Comic
Con or Fan
No,
Expo?
they look. He looks a little off. The face isn't. The face is almost good. It's like it kind of looks like him, but kind of doesn't.
Not the best.
I don't like the torso choice. I feel like it's not.
Right.
It doesn't fit
shredded
him as much.
enough.
There's one with the purple trunks with the gold decals, and then the other one is red trunks with different logos because it's from Vengeance Day 2022, I believe. But he's a chase. So 2 males. That's pretty cool. That usually means you won't get a figure for a bit, though. If they do the chase, it means like they're getting 2 out of you, so that it'll be a bit. But that's really cool. I'm not sure how I feel about this packaging. I don't love it because like for the mellow, it'll be really hard to tell which one's the chase and which one's not because his legs are covered.
So, yeah, he's covered.
Because that'd be the giveaway. But anyways, that's a pretty nice set. I like the new guy there. Basic 141 shown. There's not much here. There's a basic Rock. This will be the first series with the new tech. There's Rock. It's basic bald Rock with the silver logos or whatever. The only thing that's different is the new articulations. That's nice. We got Brock with the braided hair from the Rumble. So the only thing that's different here is the head scan and again the tech, which is fine. There's a Belair basic, which I think looks really flat. These are the basics I don't like because that just looks bad.
Yeah, I just don't like their legs look so skinny.
Yeah, and the face just looks so like lifeless, which I mean sometimes they do, but then we got Rollins and like it was supposed to be a white iridescent suit, but now it looks kind of like blue icy, but still kind of cool. And he's got the blonde highlights. It looks kind of weird from the front, the hair, but I think they kind of faded it nicely on the back, and I like it. And the heads on the basics are interchangeable, so I might take it off. I could put it on my Ultimate Rollins and give him the blonde hair. Then we have LA Knight, which is nice. He's got the red trunks for the normal one, and then there's yellow for the chase.
Cool.
So 2 LA Knights in the basics, then he'll get an elite soon, I think. But updated tech is cool. Championship Showdown 2-packs, 15. We have 2001 era Triple H and Austin. It's either from the 2-man power trip or from when they were feuding before Mania X7 when Austin turned. I feel like it's from that because there's a WWE title here, but Actually, then now I don't know when it would be. Anyways, it looks like 2000, 2001 of them, and they're in promo gear. It's fine. New articulation is good. Then a weird flashback choice is 2017 Owens and AJ. AJ has the crummy, like, I don't know if it's a soccer mom haircut, but it kind of is.
Looks like it.
I really hate that head. It's not good. And I know the one guy I watch, he does not like it either. And these are both the same attires from Elite 61. I remember they made Elites of these. I have the AJ. It's in that US attire, which I really like. It's just the head's not great. And then this is also from their SummerSlam match where Shane was the ref, and they kept doing ref bumps and whatever.
Right.
And the kind of cool thing is the US title has AJ's nameplate on there. It's just, I think it's amazing. You know, there's supposed to be the black in the middle, right? I think they're missing that, which looks weird. And then Roman Reigns and Logan Paul from Blood Money last year, which is... I guess that's all right. They got the new articulation. It's the same Roman basic we've seen before, just new articulation. First basic for Logan Paul, and then I think they should have included 2 belts because technically that would be right, but we only get the blue Universal title here with Roman side plates.
Bummer.
Which is whatever. Top picks basics, we have a basic Drew McIntyre with the old inaccurate skin tone and an old head in an attire we've already seen. I don't even need to show you that. Orton basic with an old head, just neon green logos. I don't think you want to see that either. And then the final one in this is a Cody, which is an attire they've already done. It's the white and blue tights. They did this in his first basic, I think basic 136. His first figure after he returned was this gear, except they used a really old head. Then they re-released that figure in a battle pack with Theory, with one of the bad heads that I don't like. And so they released that Cody with a new head that they use on his Elite, and then this one has the new head from the Elite, but now it's the same attire, just with the new articulation. So it's the third slightly different version of the same figure.
Interesting.
Lazy. It's interesting. At least that one, it's better, I guess. Speaking of lazy, we got 2 re-releases. We got Top Picks Elites. There's the Roman Reigns, that the one I just got.
Yeah.
Re-release of that. So that's whatever. Universal title with the side plates if you want it. Elite 95 Cena gets re-released in the top picks, which is the green and yellow from his return. And the only good one from the series I showed you is Dusty Rollins, which is awesome. Because that's actually new. It's got the yelling head from the Ultimate I got. It's from the Torn Pet Cody match, so that is very nice. And then some AEW reveals where they revealed an Acclaimed 3-pack.
Yes.
I'll show you that. It's got Daddy Ass, too.
Of course.
It's Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed. And so Bowens and Caster have tongue-out expressions, and they all have scissoring hands, I believe, to do that and whatever. So that's pretty cool. That's a nice 3-pack. The packaging looks really interesting, too. I don't think I'd get that, but it's really nice. I don't know. If it was cheap, maybe. But the one I do want to get is there's a Blood and Guts, the new Blood and Guts 2-pack, which is a coffin match. Brody King and Darby Allin, which is really cool. The bloody Brody King looks gnarly. I showed you, and the Darby Allin's got a bit of blood on him too. But I think it looks really cool, and I like that a lot. And then I showed you the Champions 4-pack for AEW, which was it's MJF, and he's got the new Triple B belt, which they haven't done yet. Then Cassidy's got like gold shoes and an international title. Thunder Rosa's got the updated women's title because she's the champ right now. And Wardlow has the TNT title, which we've already seen. But I think all the figures are new, and it's 1 in 3,000 Amazon exclusive. The aftermarket price on this is going to be bananas.
Yes, it
will be absolutely insane. And that is everything. I think
that was a lot, considering we're already over 3 hours.
I think I got through everything in a decent manner.
Yeah, you did. So you need to go and get some food into you before work. I need to go and get ready because we're heading out to a buddy's place that moved. So we're going to check out Lyle's new house. And then here's hoping that Payback and All Out kind of over-deliver because we're not super enthused about either.
Nope.
But we'll talk about both of those maybe before 164, maybe not. We'll just see what kind of time we have. It is a long weekend, so maybe we'll get around to it. Appreciate you joining us for any time you can this week. We'll be back for sure next week for episode 164 on Saturday. And until then, everybody, take care.